really should make y'all mad.
I'm not mad about anything. We just having a conversation. I don't get emotionally invested like that.
Right.
But to
Well, you
that,
know what I mean? That's a little hyperbole. Go ahead.
Yeah, to that I would say you're resoundingly just wrong. It's materially
Yeah,
incorrect.
because
Right?
that's just something you ain't never heard before, and you just feel like it's wrong because they don't sound good to
No,
you.
as much as I've talked to Ngozi and people, and you think this is the first time I've ever heard that? I just happen to disagree. I'm of the according to the historic record and what the genes say, the admixture events that cause the phenotypic traits that's predominant in North Africa today, those events are much more recent than like things like the phylogenetic tree would say. So that's where I'm coming from with it. The genetic
According to
signature.
what? Something says something over the phylogenetic tree. Say that again. I didn't understand that. Go ahead one more time. Say that one more time.
Yeah. So I said that the events that have led to certain phenotypes, right, or a certain phenotype being predominant in North Africa.
Those events might have happened before they got to North Africa, though.
Pay attention to the words that I'm talking about the phenotype.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
you thinking like they went up to North Africa and then they start looking away. I'm saying they might have looked like that before they even start going to North Africa.
That's what I'm saying. That's where me and you diverge. That's where me and you diverge at. That's where we disagree at.
Okay.
You get me? Yeah. That's where we having a disagreement.
That's fine.
All right. Listen. So if you look at it, if you take Nimrod, for example, right? When Astro 87 came on the panel, I don't know if he was on there that night. And he made the point that because Ankh kept harping on the 80% indigenous Africans, right? And Astro 87 said, yes, it's 80% indigenous African, but when you suss out the numbers, that 80% comprises of about 2 or 3 bat migrations. And when you break down those bat migrations, it comes out to being really like the sample being 90% Eurasian, right?
A lot of times Eurasian can mean African, though. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so you get caught up in the name, and then, but it's really
that's what Astro. Yeah, we know all of that, Corey. That's the point.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page, though, because you use it the way you're saying it. Just makes me think.
I'm telling you what Astro 87 said.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. So Aunt kept harping on the point that, man, they never said it was Eurasian. It's an indigenous African. He kept harping on that, right? So then Astro 87 would counter that with, yeah, it was 80% indigenous African. However, that 80% is really comprised of a bunch of back migrations. And if you know what Astro 87 is getting at, he's basically getting at saying, them was some French Montana niggas. That's what he's getting at. You see what I'm saying? Because if I were to say this today,
I want to let you know that, like, and I keep trying to explain this to y'all, like, y'all keep thinking they look like them North Africans look like Arabs, but I'm trying to explain to you what I'm trying to say to you is Arabs look like North Africans. That's a North African look. You gotta understand that.
I'm not caught up on the whole Arab and all that. I'm talking about the phenotype.
I'm just saying, like, because you talking about the back migration and how they in the phenotypes and shit. I'm saying, like, these niggas, all them niggas in that region, them Levant niggas to the Saudi Arabian niggas, the Turkey niggas, all these niggas look like North Africans. That's a North African. That's all African.
Or the predominant North African is what you're saying. The predominant North African phenotype.
Right. That's that whole region is a predominant North African phenotype. It's not. It's not a result of a back migration. They phenotype is not a result of the back migration. I'm just gonna tell you that right now.
So the straight hair,
none of that.
The pale
all that's African. All of it's African.
Okay, do you have a source for that? Because I never heard Ngozi say that.
Everybody that I've heard with some sense talk about this is what the part that y'all be missing. This is what I'm saying.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, I did miss that part. So maybe you can help me out. Where can I see this information?
Listen, I'm not the geneticist guy, but when I listen to these genetic guys, this is what they saying, bro. This is what they saying. Holler at Fetty. Fetty know about genetics. He'll tell you what I'm talking
about. On that
that's a North African
your guy Kieta said it in a couple of his videos, bro, dealing with phenotypes and how people think Africa got one distinct phenotype, but a lot of those things was actually developed right there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just so we're clear, right? Let's say 8,000 years ago in North Africa, right? The snapshot in terms of phenotype that we have today, right?
You can take that right back there.
Oh,
have you ever seen like a facial reconstruction of a basal Eurasian? You ever seen like a facial reconstruction?
Y'all got it. Let's slow walk it.
Again, when they say Eurasian, they really
I can't even get through a sentence. I can't even complete a thought. Like, all right,
just started talking, bro.
Hitting you off though.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you, Fetty. It was Corbin cut me off. Like, So just so we're clear, let's say circa 7,000, 8,000 years ago, Corey's position is that not only is the predominant phenotype in North Africa today was pretty much the same as it was 8,000 years ago, but also that predominant phenotype 8,000 years ago was as a result of intercontinental mutation.
Great way to word that.
And I'm saying that's new to me. Betty, what do you think? I've never heard that. Help me out.
Say that one more time. I was trying to send you a picture of what a basal Eurasian looked like from facial reconstruction.
Yeah. So, hold on. Sure. So I don't lose my train. So
right now.
So
yeah, look in the voice chat. Look in this joint I just sent.
In the private message thing.
Yeah, this one. Okay. You see what it look like?
I've seen the reconstructions before, but I really want to get through this point, right? So me and Corey just came to a little bit of a consensus, right? We're on the same page. He's of the viewpoint that 8,000 years ago, phenotypically, the predominant phenotypical snapshot of North Africa today, remember we're talking about phenotype, was pretty much the same as it was 8,000 years ago, right? Boom. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is the reason for that predominant phenotype is mostly intercontinental mutation. And I'm saying
intercontinental means multiple continents. Yeah. I'm sorry, that I wouldn't agree with that. I would say it all happened on
let's say inter-African then.
Yes, I guess inter-African.
Right. So let's say using French Montana as like the representative, right? He's saying that
hell, we can use Zahi Hawass if you want.
Zahi Hawass is a Turk, but I mean, whatever. Let's use Zahi Hawass. Fine.
But yeah, he is a Turk, but he looked like a North African. Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what Corey is saying, if you line up a Moroccan, a Berber, a Libyan, and a
hold on.
Lebanese, you wouldn't know the difference.
Hold on. Right. So he's saying that the Zahi Hawass, right, was predominant. That phenotype was predominant in North Africa 8,000 years ago. And not only that, Zahi Hawass phenotype happened primarily, the mutations happened primarily inside of Africa to create the Zahi Hawass nigga. I'm saying that's new for me. If somebody has a source, something I could read, I've never heard that before.
And you would have to make a better example, because you can get that Zahi Hawass look in like the Neurot study. You can get a depiction of what that person looked like and just if you just add a little tan tone, that's what I get confused on the skin tone thing. Are you talking about a morphology dealing with the face? Like, I don't know, bro. It's like you
He's
confused.
talking about the whole package, like everything about Zahi Hawass.
What's
right?
confusing about it?
Way
We
his
know
nose,
it's
his shape.
No, I'm saying
way
even
his
if you look
skin
at
is
Dr.
colored.
Banoob, you can tell he can have a little tan to him too. Like,
Yeah, Dr.
We're not
Banoob,
talking
yeah.
about.
He
Yeah, that's
looks
what we're
just like
saying.
Zahi
and the
Hawass.
Mexican, bro,
Doc-
but all of them look
Listen,
more
look,
Mexican.
that's the prime example. Dr. Banoob is a North African, right? Him and Zahi Hawass could be brothers. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Am I bush? Is y'all bullshitting me?
We're on the same page. I don't know what
Yeah.
Fetty is.
So what I'm saying is Zahi Hawass, being a Turkish guy, he don't look like a Turkish. He looks North African. I'm saying that look is a North African look.
And I'm saying if you get that Zahi Hawass face type, right, and you just apply just a dark light, he still wouldn't be classified as black, no matter what.
Right. No matter how black, no matter how dark
But
his
Fetty,
skin is, he would
That's
still be
all I'm saying.
classified as white over here in
Fetty,
America.
you're having.
Yeah, no, Fetty killing two birds with one stone. I see you, Fetty.
Now, you know how like they talk about the Jews and shit, right? And how a lot of black people think because they said like swarthy, they meant black. But you had white people that was considered swarthy, right?
Yeah, but you gotta hear what he asking you.
Yeah, you gotta stop throwing white and black around. Them Mediterranean people. Like, you gotta be more direct. You're just throwing white and black around.
Is on here, so Fetty didn't understand the question that I asked, so maybe I could
did
ask
understand
Gullah.
what you said. You talking about
Gullah is a good guy to ask.
Maybe he can point me in the right direction. I'm looking
Bro,
for.
Are you talking about more? Are you talking about the facial? Like, what are you talking about? You talking about?
I said the whole package. The whole package.
Let me wrap with Gullah because you said you were confused. You said it. Those are your words. So perhaps I did a poor job. So let me try with Gullah. So Gullah, me and Corey were just having a discussion about ancient North Africans, right? And Corey is of the opinion, or to his mind, science is stating that and this is a phenotypical argument, Gullah, just so you know. If you don't want to engage in it, let us know now. But just so you know, we're talking about looks. Okay? All right. With that in mind, using Zahi Hawass as a proxy for the predominant North African phenotype of 2025, right? Corey is saying that phenotype was not only already predominant 8,000 years ago, right? It was also as a result of inner African mutations. I'm saying I've never heard that before, and I'd like to read something to that effect. Where can I look for it? Where can I find it?
I say somewhat, and also due to gene flow too, because the earliest North Africans didn't look like that until the Juzana people came in from the Middle East and back migrated. Them early Tyrian cultures didn't look like that. Tyrian cultures. The Tyrian culture.
No. Corey is saying no. He's saying that should happen inside Africa. I've never heard this.
No, I'm saying it happened all in them regions, but I'm saying before the Juzana type came in around 30,000, 20,000 years ago, they came in from the Middle East.
He's saying 8,000. He said 8,000. We ain't talking about 30,000.
Oh yeah, 8,000. Yeah, the 8,000. That look was there. That look was there. Dominant.
But the point is,
you know what I'm saying? Even 20,000 years ago, you had the Juzana, Bir Marusian type motherfuckers. Them motherfuckers look like that.
Yeah, but
they got
them motherfuckers look like Gaddafi. They're like Gaddafi.
Yeah, but
exactly.
What Haskell's trying to figure out though is that you know, it took the back migration to shift. Like you don't get that full Zahi Hawass type without the back migration.
I'm not saying you get the whole thing, but I'm saying that
North African, you're not gonna get that until the back migration.
You gotta listen.
Are you talking about the skin tone, or y'all talking about like
the North African look?
Package.
The North African look, bro. right?
Why is it so hard to
Gaddafi, the
understand?
Gaddafi
Nah,
look.
the only
I
reason
mean,
I'm saying
I
that
like
because
that.
that Gaddafi look.
you're gonna have to
I like the
you're gonna have
Gaddafi
to
look
make
a little bit
argument
better, right?
Hey, that
Because the
Gaddafi look is.
Egyptians are a little bit
Hold
more
on.
distinct than Gaddafi. But go
Hey,
ahead,
that-
go ahead.
Hey, that Gaddafi look is at least 30,000 to 20,000
all I've
years
been-
back
that's all I've-
migrated to in
Back
North Africa.
migration though, Corey. Back
Yeah,
migration.
but before
It's
then,
not
but
back
He's talking about
migration, that's
8,000. He's talking about 8,000. So
no,
Well,
no,
8,000. With 8,000, you got 10,000 plus years of back migration. 20,000.
no,
So
8,000.
saying, if you look at facial reconstructions of certain groups,
8,000. That shit was there. 8,000 Gaddafi
Yeah.
boys.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, 8,000. That shit was there.
Haskell was what
Not
Haskell
only-
was trying to.
Don't do
What
that.
Haskell was trying to find out is, can you get that without the back migration? The answer is no.
No,
You ain't gonna get that back without a back migration.
African look. I'm saying they had already.
They're gonna be
had-
somewhat similar to sub-Saharan Africa until they split and diverge.
I mean, hold on. Let me
That's
say
just-
something.
Are you
Hold on,
kidding me? Joseph?
Hold on. Can I please say something,
Go
please?
ahead,
Can I
go
finish
ahead,
the whole
go
damn
ahead.
picture? No, I'm saying like
Now you gotta show me that, Sosa. Now give me that. Give me that. You know what
No, I'm saying like even before you get the full Gaddafi look,
Mhm.
you get the Ethio-Somali type look. You know what I'm saying up there. Even though that look is mixed too, but it's mixed, but it's mixed with a basal Eurasian that wasn't super light skinned either. They look like more like people that they
Right.
kind of paint a picture of kind of people of South Asia, like people that look like vidoids and shit.
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
That's
the
why I
thing
brought
is,
up
they
like,
mixed
Basal
with them
Gaddafi
people
Eurasians before
them
you
got
got
air
in here.
conditioning.
I brought up
Automatically.
Basal Eurasians to show the
You know, Gaddafi them got air conditioning cars and shit. So like they skin to be a lot darker if they didn't have air conditioning cars and shit like that. Y'all understand that? If they would run around with their shirts off, they'd be a lot darker than what they is today. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, they got the ability to tan and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they
That's
still
what I'm
got the
saying.
SL.
If you see
They
Dr.
still got the
Banu can
SLC
get a
shit.
mean tan, bro. Banu can get a tan, bro, and be dark and be you know what I'm saying, have a
Dr.
dark.
Banu can get
Yeah,
my
bro.
Y'all focusing on skin.
But no. We're not talking about
the
skin.
hair,
We're
the
talking
skin,
about
the
a look,
even the
a
texture
look.
of the skin. You know what I mean? Like the hair and all of it. The whole thing, the whole package.
We're better to so the back migration didn't do nothing.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm
But
saying.
then nobody's
ain't-
saying that,
if
bro.
that's
He
the
broke
impression
down
that
how
you
Basal
get,
Eurasians
what did it
looked a
do?
certain way, and
No,
like,
it
he
actually
broke all
did
that.
enhance now. So the back migration, right, enhances things. So now they come in with the blue eyes, and some of them even got red hair and all the extra components, right? But that Gaddafi look, though, no, that's a North African. That ain't motherfuckers try to attribute that Gaddafi look to
That was
Arab.
that's inner Africa without back
Yeah.
migration. Right, Corey?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying, Gunner? I need to see that somewhere. I've never heard that before.
I'm just saying where they come from. Then they had to back migrate to look like that. The Moroccans and shit like that.
Yeah, 7,000 BC is a wild date to even like started at to say like what like you gonna have.
They was at that point. That's
Yeah, when you
that
talk
look.
about
At 7,000.
at 8,000,
That look is
8,000. That shit is done. That's Iberian Marousian. Niggas was looking like Rick Fox or lighter. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Was that
And most of those
inner African
mutations,
or
hey Gullah, tell them most of those mutations happen on the continent, right? Am I tripping, Gullah? Those mutations when they even if back migration or not, even if they back migrated, they still once they back migrated, they had their own mutations.
You can't say back migrations or not, but your original position was that phenotype was already in Africa prior to
that is my statement, but I'm saying regardless of how you cut it.
I mean, if y'all ask me something, but I don't never get to finish what the hell y'all ask me. That motherfucker always break that shit crazy. But now I'm saying like even, but I was saying that the skull type, you know what I'm saying, that skull type, that shit been in, you know what I'm saying, Africa because of highland areas, shit like that. You know, so you'll see that you'll even see that look even with the certain Amadic groups. You know what I'm saying? They have like what you call aquiline features. You know what I'm saying? But not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, looking like Gaddafi, but the skull shape, you know what I'm saying, to be there. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying, kind of like how Horners look or people of the Red Sea Hills look.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like they were already distinguished. Was my original point that I made, right? But to what really got Haskell, because I'm not wording it the way I worded it originally. What really got Haskell up in arms is the way I worded it, I think. And I was saying that people attribute those modern Egyptians and modern North Africans, right? They attribute the look to an Arab look, right? But my point is that's not an Arab look. That's a North African look.
Yes, North African look. That look is older than the Arab.
That's all I'm saying. That's all.
Yeah, that look is older than the Arab. That shit. When they talk about the Coptic component, that shit didn't come in during the Copts. That shit came in during the Neolithic, the middle of the Neolithic and shit. When we say Coptic component, Reggie slow ass. Reggie slow ass. Reggie slow ass though was actually talking about the Coptic component come from when the Copts came in.
They think it's a bunch of niggas running around looking like me that left out of Africa, and then when they came back in, they was looking like Gaddafi and shit. Like when them Natufian ancestors, when they left North Africa, them niggas weren't even looking like them niggas was looking like Nipsey Hussle daddy and shit. Right.
You know they're not. Yeah, just look at all of the facial reconstructions that they got of certain groups, and you'll realize like the argument you making is kind of incoherent because you don't realize that those groups had already distinct looks from the Dinka type and Niger Congo type you talk about. You from your perspective, it's you think it's a Dinka nigga walking around in Eurasia and they been like that. It's like,
mutate. No,
hey, hold on. We got to keep in mind that look, that Burna Boy Dinka looking at, that's actually fairly new on the continent.
That's what I was
for sure. For sure, bro. You're right. That's a fact.
No, I wouldn't say it's new. It's not really new.
I mean, like it's one of the more recent. Is what I mean.
No, it's not new. It's just that just because y'all found the Azula bones at that certain age, don't mean that shit didn't go back. They just found that certain bones at that age. That shit still go back. They ain't found the earlier skeletons of that shit because you can't find certain shit in them tropical regions like that. Got to be in dry regions.
More
right.
That shit is old. Like that look, the Niger Congo and the motherfucking Nile Saharians, they phenotypes is really basal. You know what I'm saying? They just carried it on in more recent times. Became unified.
We split from them. We split from them. We share a common ancestor with them.
Yeah. So this started with me and Corey. How we got to this point was I think Logic asked why does it matter if the Egyptians were black or why do the blackologists stress it? And I said that in academia and science, they use certain buzzwords like sub-Saharan Africa and all of that stuff. As who's on? Somebody got to do it. But I was saying that they use those some of those scientific ancestral calculation terms as like proxies or euphemisms for race. And as long as they keep doing it, then people are going to emphasize the whole black thing, right? Because they're playing the racial game, so we're going to play the racial game, basically, right? So then we got to the point of the whole Takakori thing, and I was pointing out to him that just because the genetic study says that a group of people or two samples have a distinct genetic component doesn't necessarily mean that they were looking like French Montana. And to give him a modern day example, I brought up the Andamanese Islanders, right? They're what, about 50, 60,000 years removed from Africa, right? And according to genetics, they're closer to Asians than Africans. But phenotypically, that doesn't mean that they look like Ching Wang. That's all I'm saying. He thinks if you read a science paper and it says, oh, they have a North African component, that pretty much automatically means, oh, that's Gaddafi in French Montana. No, it don't necessarily mean that.
That's not what I was. I
don't think he meant that.
No, that ain't what I mean. I'm not meaning that. Like if just because they say it's North African, the nigga can look like me. Like
right, that was my only point. That's my
Yeah, but
only
that
point.
would be an anomalistic though. Like that's not the general overall. Like in North Africa, it's not a bunch of. It's not that me running around ain't the general population, bro.
See, at that time, I disagree because again,
At what
if
time?
you if, if you
7,000
look,
years ago.
yeah, if hold on, if you look at the cave art, for example, at the Tassili cave art, right? If you look, they had plenty of palettes. You'll see all colors represented on those rock art paintings, right? So, and the people are uniformly very black. So, if we know that the predominant phenotype in North Africa today is not dark skin, can we agree on that?
What's your email address? At iCloud. So there you go to iCloud. And then you sign in. Really? Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, somebody mute Corey into his
my bad. I was just trying
you
to tell
good to handle your
I was wondering how I didn't get cut off. That's why. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like
inside of that word salad that you said a couple seconds ago. But Haskell, like so inside of everything that you said.
Getting cut off, Logic.
Yeah, you cutting out.
Can y'all hear me? Am I breaking up?
It breaking up.
Is this any better?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, so inside of what you're saying, Haskell, like why it sounds like you actually have enough to realize that the answer doesn't seem to fit neatly within this phenotype box or this gene box that you're hoping it does. But it sounds as though like since you can't put that together in a way that fits a preconceived notion that you have, you just disagree with it. Why isn't what you were able to reiterate back in your own words? Why isn't that enough for you to realize? Well, even though I can trace that these people, like Corey said, like all of that stuff happened on the African continent in some kind of way, you would still like assume that it's not in there. You almost confusing yourself. Because if I follow everything that you said, you clearly understand, how much time has passed, where these people come from. Just ain't fucking with it.
Yeah, so we already arrived to the conclusion that Corey was wrong about that. In terms of those
wrong
mutations.
about what, Haskell? Come on now. Here, well, let me get back in. I got distracted.
I was answering Logic because he thought that you were right about a lot of those the light skin and the stray hair and all of that stuff happening inside of Africa. Those are
Why would Logic think I was wrong about that?
You still
but
holding on
to that video of Kata saying that they had the long straight hair and all that?
Right, I'm trying to figure out what would make Logic tell you that I was wrong about that. That's
no, but he's gonna tell you that it happened overwhelmingly due to back migrations. Corey is saying that pretty much that full package was already set inside of Africa before they ever left. That was his original.
Every kind of hair that you can think of is already in Africa.
No, we're talking about the predominant phenotype, Corey. Come on now, you keep moving the goalposts.
No, I'm talking about I'm not only saying that, but I'm saying the hair that them folks got right now. They've been had that hair, bro. That's the hair. That's North African hair.
Just
North African hair.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
We could never be clear on people's positions, right? They dance around a lot. They
I don't know how much clearer I can be. I said the same thing over 30 times. You just trying to reword what I'm saying.
Corey said originally that the French Montana Gaddafi phenotype was already dominant in Africa before Africans even left the continent. That was his position.
Let me read it. I post something and see if y'all agree. Hold on. When I post something and see if we agree. It said the primary split between North African and Sub-Saharan African gene pools likely emerged more than 12,000 years ago.
I mean, at what point in time were you talking about? Because you had a few, you had a few out of.
You in the middle of me reading, bro.
Oh, my bad. Shit, that's how niggas do me when they ask me questions. I'll be going cooking, niggas interrupt me in the middle of my shit.
That's fair.
Now y'all niggas know how I feel. Now y'all niggas know how I feel. Y'all burnt. Y'all feel it burn now.
Read this shit.
No, that was fair.
Anyway, this divergence. It says so. The gene pools likely emerged more than 12,000 years ago. So this divergence was reinforced by a major migration event called the Back to Africa movement, in which so humans back migrate back into Africa. So I'm gonna skip so get the phenotype. So it said phenotypic differences such as lighter skin tones, different facial structures, and hair types in North Africans compared to most Sub-Saharan Africans stem from this distinct ancestry, as well as exposure to gene flow from Eurasia and the Near East. So it said North Africans have genetic markers and Neanderthal ancestry more similar to Southern Europeans and West Asian than Sub-Saharan African, further making the diversion. So some of those that key look comes from that back to Africa.
The back migration. Right, that's a consensus. Corey is saying no. He's saying that primarily happened inside of Africa. I don't know why you can't just say I was wrong about it.
Maybe I'm wrong then. I guess.
No, it's not maybe. It's not maybe.
He read one source. I can say the source that he just read said I was wrong.
So y'all see the problem now? So it's not me with the word salad logic.
Yeah, so it says in summary, in summary, early North Africans likely started with physical traits similar to other Saharan or Sub-Saharan Africans. Why I didn't know it was entirely occurred here. Over time, right, that's where you get the isolation, right? Because they got a bottleneck in isolating those isolations. The Sahara became more, you know what I'm saying, becoming a barrier, right? Because in order for it to develop, that gene flow got to be blocked. You know what I'm saying? So they can't, you know what I mean? To keep from mixing back in, you feel me? So they bottleneck. So basically saying that isolation, right? Climatic adaptation and gene flow from Eurasia, North Africa, blah, 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 as what developed that more intermediate or distinctive feature you see now, the narrow noses and looser hair texture compared to Sub-Saharan groups. However, long zones of contact, like the Sahel and Nile Valley, there's a significant overlap in diversity in nose and hair tracing. I mean, you know what I mean? So now, but that bottleneck and the isolation, because if that Sub-Saharan gene flow was able to get back in and keep mixing it, the shit would have stayed more homogenous. But because they get isolated now and they can't get back in, and you know what I mean, now you start developing shit to become more distinct.
That Green Sahara.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right, that's what Green Sahara paper talks about.
Yeah, I was
50K when it started right there.
Yeah. I'm just gonna ride with it. Fine. I ain't gonna talk about it. Go ahead.
Corey, can we get a I was wrong out of you?
I said that already.
He said fine. He said fine.
That's not what
fine.
That's saying I got you.
I don't think that
fine is a win. He said fine.
That didn't remove those people.
I said I was wrong like 10 minutes ago though.
He said when he said fine, he's like, I was wrong. Fine.
It wasn't satisfying.
I wasn't satisfying. I know you want to hear it again. I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying is, like, when they talk about Sub-Saharan, right? They're not talking about like the way we look, though. That's all I'm saying, like, too. So you got to take that in component. They're talking about more of those. When they talk about Sub-Saharan in this context, they mean in like those Eastern African type looks. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying that. You know, like those hair textures, you can look at those Eastern Africans and look at their hair textures and see that all the hair textures was already here. So like it's a little bit blurry. I'm not gonna argue. Listen, I'm just gonna bow out and say because I'm not versed enough. I'm not versed enough to really argue the point that I'm trying to argue, right? But I do understand like how some confusion can be. You know what I mean? How that can be confusing a little bit, what you read. You know what I mean?
I don't feel like I got you.
Now, what Kata warns, Kata does warn that.
Because I can't go no further. You got me.
Yeah. Now, what's
That's my
okay?
lane.
What Soy Creator warns is that over time we may find that what we thinking is back migration or coming up may actually be African. That's what he said.
Expansion, right?
Feel it. So.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Kieta. He definitely said that. Yeah, he brought that
No,
up.
but that's the whole thing. Like a lot of it that we think is back migration is actually, and this is again what Ngozi be going in to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But
can I
I'm gonna let y'all, like most of y'all know, especially Haskell, he know a lot about a lot of shit. I've never said I knew I was the
can I please elaborate?
guy.
Let Gullah elaborate. I don't want to elaborate.
I'm just saying, like when you on that East African corridor,
right?
You on the ground. Them people ain't thinking like we just leaving out of somewhere going this. No, that's like one big area. They don't know they didn't know shit about no fucking continents. None of that shit. They just moving with the animals, moving back and forth. Like when them niggas were going over Asia from East Africa, them niggas didn't know they were going into some new shit. They just, this is some area over there. It's some shit over here. You know what I'm saying? They ain't thinking no, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that shit, you know what I'm saying, happened within that region, period, simultaneously. Like, you know, some motherfuckers going back and forth. They're not thinking, oh, we going there. Like when you cross that motherfucking Adulis, the motherfucking the Horn of Africa, Arabian Peninsula, that when the fucking sea levels was lower and shit, that's like a motherfucker it's just no different than a motherfucking crossing the Nile from the other side of the river.
Yeah, leaving out gonna make you look different. Like, you know, I don't know. It seemed like the motherfuckers coming back in gonna look just like the same niggas. Like I don't understand.
My changes over the time, but you know what I'm saying. But them early base Eurasian motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying. They basically just look like people from like Southern Asia. You know what I'm saying? They before you had super light skin, that like certain people had straight and wavy.
Super bright light skinned or nothing like that. I'm just saying like they basically look to me in my eyes. They basically look the same.
Yeah, like, they didn't look like Akon and no shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. There was no Akon leaving out and coming back. Now they look. Now they look.
Yeah, but they call it a back migration. Meaning.
Them niggas was looking like Emperor Ali Selassie a little bit of some shit. You know what I'm saying?
They already had this look. They ain't coming back looking different than a nigga like it's.
We keep trying to put Ethiopians in Egypt. Y'all keep trying to. Y'all keep trying to put the Ethiopians in Egypt. That's Dr. Ben.
Hold on.
What the fuck Selassie look like?
That's Dr. Ben. That's Dr. Ben and them.
Gullah, you're muffled. We're not talking over you. You're muffled.
We can't hear you.
He wasn't no fucking.
You gotta get off speaker.
That nigga look like, you know what I'm saying? That nigga's a fucking Habesha. That niggas fucking speak Semitic. The motherfucking language, fucking Ethio-Semitic is Semitic. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
Gullah, you gotta get on speaker, Gullah. When you speak, put it on phone and not speaker, because you get muffled.
Yeah.
Hey, Steph, you funny as shit, bro.
Yeah, they keep going. You see it?
It's Dr. Ben.
Somebody that knows genetics got to back me up on this shit here. Like, where you at, Fetty? You know what I'm saying? Like, where my backup at, Fetty?
No, bro, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. We all saying that. I think we made it clear that based off Haskell's perspective, he thinks that the predominant look throughout the entire African diaspora via the non-backflow of Eurasians, they will all look like Dinka and Niger Congo type people. But in reality, look, Gullah knows this. If you look at facial reconstructions that experts make, or just people dealing with like basal Eurasians, you can see they got a little tan to them and they dark, but they still look distinct.
So how did you take the paper that Sosa read? What did you think?
I would want more detail. I'm not saying it's wrong. It was on point. I'm saying I would want more detail regarding like dealing with, you know, certain features that we know came through. What is it? Biomes. Certain biomes. Play part.
Even them Omatic if you look at the true Armada groups, I ain't talking about the ones that got a lot of Nilo-Saharan admixture. But you look at a lot of the true, like the Hammer or the Ari people, them niggas look like some reddish. They could be dark to reddish, but they look like some slightly they look like slightly more gracile Nilo-Saharans. They got a lot of, you look at the
but you can classify them as sub-Saharan though.
I mean, you can. Right. I mean, you can. So you can. But I wouldn't. Hold on. Now, now you can. But they don't come from no sub-Saharan zone. They come from the Red Sea Hills. The southern Red Sea Hills is right above the fucking Sahara.
Right.
Or in the Sahara. Yeah. Or in the Sahara. Yeah. Or just like even us. Or even us, like Niger Congo people. We didn't become quote unquote sub-Saharan until after 6,000 years ago, to the desert started to desiccate. We South Central Saharan. We from fucking South Central.
Because you're going back to the bad migration, going out at, let's say, 60K. So the Sahara flips every like 21,000 years. You see what I'm saying? So there's a cycle.
Right.
Feel me? So different shit that happen to cause people to get
let's go here though. Let's go here though, Sosa. Let's go to humans leaving out of Africa, right? Let's go to the first.
You think they walked out looking like Zahir Was?
No. That's not what.
All right, let's get. I just want to make sure.
That's the extreme. Because at first, listen. You got to know how the argument went. The argument went from 7,000 back to the out of Africa theory, right? So the Zahi Hawass thing, right? That was at the 7,000 mark. What he was talking about. So he said 7,000, right? But what I'm trying to get across to y'all, what I'm trying to get across to y'all is that niggas leaving out of Africa, it ain't a bunch of niggas looking like me leaving out of Africa. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like
they ain't look like Burna Boy walking out.
No. They had already had the different look than me walking out because they don't even make.
We'll get a golden opinion based on
these niggas.
Some of the reconstruction you see.
They don't. All they did was.
And it depends on. It depends on.
Finish my point, and then y'all can have it. Let me just one more second.
It depends.
My point. Hold on.
It depends on what.
Then you can take
migration.
It over. Jesus Christ! You can take it over, Gullah. As soon as I say this, 1 second. Listen. All I'm saying is it don't make sense to me, and I'm not the scientist or the evolutionary biologist, and I can be wrong, right? It don't make sense to me that a bunch of niggas that look like me walked out and then they changed looking like something else and then coming back in. It's just wild to me. Like it seems like it would be the same looking motherfucker going back and forth.
I mean,
it's a lot.
Can you guys hear me?
Like what happened?
Oh, goes.
Yeah, it was good. I want to tell them this. A lot of niggas had to. Hold on. Let me just say this real quick. Come on, Corey. Let me just say this real quick, Corey. A lot of niggas had to die, and a lot of bitches had to get fucked for niggas to start changing and shit. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even you know what I'm saying? Even like it even depends on the time period of what migration you talking about. You had different migrations. Like the 60,000 migration was different than the Tufians migrated out 14,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That's two different migrations and shit. Even like when people will haplogroup D. When them motherfuckers migrated out, they migrated out a little later, somewhere around 50,000, you know what I'm saying, then the 60,000, 70,000 mark, you know what I'm saying, they migrated and became like the Andaman Islanders and all them type of people groups. You know what I'm saying? But it's complex, man.
And that's a good one, Corey. Think about the Andaman Islanders over there in goddamn subcontinent. You feel me?
Go ahead and go.
I want to.
The Andaman Islanders.
Let him go to get it in.
I want to say something right quick. So 70,000 years ago and 80,000 years ago, most of the humans were very dark and pigmented. Even looking at you, brother Corey, you may look at yourself in the mirror and see a dark-skinned man, but at the end of the day, your morphology, if you look at you, you don't look like you. First of all, you're part Fulani, and if you know about your Fulani heritage, the Fulani or the Sahelian people, have a lot of back migration DNA in them, ranging from 30% to as little as 2%. Your mother's Fulani. And if you look at you, Corey, you don't have prognathism. Your mandibular does not protrude out. Morphologically, yes, you're 100% Black African. But what I'm saying is you don't look like the typical groups of people that you see around you. But what I would say is the people that left out of Africa 100,000 to 80,000 years ago was more robust than you in morphology, way more robust than you. There has been a lot of bottlenecks. There has been a lot of genetic drifts. There has been much sexual selection that Brother Geechee talks about at different time periods. So 80,000 years ago, a lot of the early humans look similar to Aborigine type people, or 50,000 years ago, looking at the people of the Andaman Islands, those are out of African populations. Some of the first waves. They're dark skinned. What we have going on is around 40 to 30,000 years ago. Even the first basal Eurasians diverged from mainland Eurasians at around 40 to 50,000. They would have been dark skinned. So what you're seeing in Arabia right now has went through a lot of genetic drifts and bottlenecks. They don't even look like the earlier population that came back. I mean, that went through like changes, morphologically speaking. So the problem is, where does this Mediterranean look come from? Is what people should be trying to talk about. What is the timestamp when this shift starts to occur? When you start to find people with more aquiline features or certain genetic drifts with the aquiline.
That's what we're asking. That's what we're asking, though.
Because you can't go back 50,000 years. Because you go back 50,000 years, you're gonna see a robust looking nigga. You can't go back 70,000 years. Niggas that look puffy.
You gotta come closer to 15, 12.
You gotta go to 15 to 20,000 years.
Right.
When you start to see the morphology diverge. Around 7,000 years, a lot of them niggas look like Zawi Hawass. That's just
exactly. Corey, that's where you at, Corey. Yeah,
that's
but
when
like
you
I
start
said,
to see the changes.
Yeah, that's why I said, and I told you about 15,000. So
yeah, and so, but listen, so the back migrations at 14. I got one. Just let me ask this one question: the back migration at circa 14, right, Gozy, or so 12 or 14 or whatever y'all said, right?
Right.
Them like. Is it a group of different looking guys coming in back to Africa, or don't they already look similar to the guys that's already there? Like
they look kind of different because the people that back migrated really start to find a more gracile feature, but it's still like a robust Caucasoid feature. They're more they're dark. It's just like they're dark. Let me just I'm gonna just say this real quick, Gully, and you got it. They're dark, but they have narrower features. The Tyrians that was lingering around. They went through some drift, but the Tyrians still look similar to Negroids, but not in the sense of Congoid. They still had, they still look a certain way. They didn't look Congoid like a Sillerman type that you found in Mali. They still were darker when the Tyrians were still lingering around. But when those people that back migrated, like the Zuzana at 23,000 years, they look more Pakistani-like. They had narrower features. They were dark, but they didn't have SLC 245.
And of course, it's like I said, like Zahi Hawass would be dark if he was running around with his shirt off. But go ahead.
Let me just say this real quick. That nigga is dark though.
He is dark.
But anyway, but shit, I was gonna say, just imagine like around 14,000 years ago, like when you had the Natufian type lingering around and shit. Them niggas would have looked something like fucking Haile Selassie, fucking Nipsey Hussle. That probably been fucking on some Kim Kardashian looking bitches. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
and
them
kids.
Yeah.
Or you can look at, because Ethio-Somali morphology does not come from Africa. Ethio-Somali morphology.
That's from my earlier mixture. That's from my earlier mix of Amadic type and early dark skinned basal Eurasian type. The people that probably look like southern people from India. So people start mixing in and shit.
So there's an article from 2014 that talks about the back migration that occurred between East Africans and a distinct Eurasian population. The Ethio-Somali would have looked like people of the Mahiri people or the people of Socotra Island. They would have had real narrow aquiline features, and they actually brought that feature into the continent. Now, the people that was lingering around and now, like the Wadi Haflins and the Kubanians, when you look at their morphology, they had intermediate features. They wasn't completely Caucasoid in the sense of I'm just using that label, the way we can get a description. You really start to see the truth of the matter is there's been a lot of back migrations on the continent. we focus on 23,000 years when you have darker Eurasians coming in, but you also had the pre-Proto-Neolithic that come in 7 to 8,000, another wave 6,000. So these dynastic Egyptians were highly lingered to Southwest Asian. They were highly West Asian. In North Africa, you really can't put it in a bracket with populations south of the Sahara because they had shared affinities with Eurasians for a long time. Starting at ship 23,000 years, by the time you get to dynastic Egypt, these niggas is very West Asian-like, Palestinian-like, Yemenish-like. You know, that's why when you look at the samples, even with Nuret, the population that he was close to was Neolithic Moroccans. Those Neolithic Moroccans was highly closer than the Tufians. And another layer was Ibero-Mauritian, which was already West Asian-like at a large percent, and the fragments of the Takahari that kind of dried out. So whatever indigenous, real aboriginal thing that was floating in the northern portion of the continent, them niggas went through a lot of bottlenecks, and it's been a lot of back migration that occurred that lingers or emerged or share deeper affinities with West Asians that occurred on the continent a very long time. So what they found in Libya recently, that Takahari female.
Let me ask this question before you continue on. Go. Let me ask one question. Because I told Haskell, right? My argument, my original statement to Haskell was that, you know, a lot of people think that the way North Africans look today, they think that's more of an Arab type or some type of invader look, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my comment was, no, that's a more North African look. That look originated in North Africa. That was my statement.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's you know, you gotta look at it like this. You gotta look at it like this, Corey. Or people should look at it like this to give people an easier model. Ancestral East Africans gave birth to ancestral North Africans. They went through a lot of genetic drift by thousands of years. We're talking about humans diverged from ancestral East Africans 140,000 years. Around 50,000 years ago, when they go up north as Assyrians, 140,000 years, they go through bottlenecks and go through genetic drift. That was a shift 50,000 years. The people that leave out, ancestral North Africans give rise to West Asians. West Asians give rise to all of mainland Eurasians that drift into other parts of the world. So basically, it's East Africans make way for North Africans, and North Africans makes way for West Asians, and West Asians make way for all of the other Eurasians. That's the whole history of humanity. It's that simple.
Damn, that's a good. That's
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why you look at the Adam and Eve Islanders, right? That's a good way to look at it, but a good way to get a snapshot, though. I'm saying, but Corey, we's not bringing up. No, I get that, bro. Corey, I'm not your point, bro. Here's what I'm saying. The reason it's sufficient is because at 26,000 years ago, they that island got the water level was low enough for them to go on that island and get trapped, right? And they get isolated. So I give you a snapshot. Like, so you get a snapshot of people outside of Africa. 26,000. You can't just say, right? I don't mean shit. Yeah, so I'm not saying everybody look like that, but that is a glimpse.
You just put the icing on the text. So we got to think about it. The humans that left out of the continent 89,000 years ago looked like Aborigines or people of the Andaman Islands at that time. The reason why they were able to retain those features,
they don't look like Aborigines.
So I mean, they don't look like them. They all went through their own
hair type, different hair type.
Yeah, they got different hair type. They went through their own unique drift. But what I'm saying is, you see the similarity. So basically, the humans that left out of the continent 89,000 years ago were robust and dark skinned. They were darkly pigmented.
They were real robust. Yeah.
Right.
I see the robustness. Yeah.
Right. But the Adam and Eve people, you got to think about it. Humans that stayed in the equatorial borders of the planet was able to retain a lot of original features compared to people that went through further drift. We have to understand the tyrosine levels, the diet, the ultraviolet rays. They maintain their passage in zone 1 to retain those features, to still have those darkly pigmented skin. And there's also been some convergence that occurs.
You're in the same zone as Southern Indians, right?
Right. Yeah. So here's the thing. So when you look at the people in Southern India,
there's such disparity, like in the hair.
So we got to explain. So you have mutations that occur with certain populations, like Eder-Locus mutation that occurs with certain groups at 40,000 to 30,000 years. Then you have to think about with India, which is they call it the subcontinent of India, south, because it's south of the equator. They have a lot of back migration layers.
You got to know the isolations too.
So the first wave, you got to look at.
Were similarly isolated in the same zone. But they don't have.
So what happened was because what happened. So what happened was the Adam and Eve people that made it to that island 26,000 years ago, they stayed in deeper sub-equatorial zones to retain certain features. We got to think about it. Things can go backwards and forward. And that's why dude with Shamaka Keita in that old video talked about polytypicity, how certain genes can go backwards and forward. So the original inhabitants of India would have looked similar to not even really the Adam and Eve people, because the Adam and Eve people was able to retain a lot of texture, like people in Papua New Guinea. Some of those people in Papua New Guinea got real thick hair because of the areas they live in, compared to other people who have this intermediate hair shift that occurred. Then you have to study the Eterlocus mutation, because in India, there has been a lot of back migration that occurred, not just no Aryans that came from Russia that gave them the R1B and the Indo-European language, but even Neolithic Iranians went there and mixed with the indigenous inhabitants there. So there's been a lot of backwards and forwardness going on with these people. A lot of the people that we see with these other features where they really become narrow and aquiline with bone, jet black, straight hair, it's happening in northern Eurasia. People that leave zone 2 and zone 1 and go further north, and then they find their way fickling back down into zone 2 and then crossing into other areas, intermingling with certain people. You get what I'm trying to say? Just like with humans in ancestral North Africa, those people that left from ancestral East Africans that diverged 180,000 years ago, they went north. They looked a certain way for a certain amount of time, but they also had distinction already going on the continent between the earlier Tyrians and the people that they diverged from. You see what I'm saying? Because it's been time. It's just weird like that. So I think that Zawi Hawass is a great example of the nigga look like Khufu to me on the little emblem. He looked like his ancestors. He looked like his people. You know.
So when did our people when did the Niger Congo people
nigga don't look
emerge? Hold on. Let's see. When did the Niger Congo people originate? Because they're saying that we are new, right? Our morphology is new.
It's not fully new. It's certain traits was new, like the mandibular or the molar in our face, where they talk about the protruding mandibular, the prognathism. The reason why they say that is because when you look at early human skulls, you don't find that. You don't find a real protruding prognathism on a lot of these early humans. You had slight prognathism, but not a protruding mandibular or a prognathism like you found with a Sillerman. So that trait is new. But here's the thing. Niger Congo people are hybrids. We're a bunch of mixed people. What I mean is, we represent old layers of human populations in time. So you have the ancestral East Africans that diverge at different times. One group of us went into Central and West Africa and became Central West African hunter-gatherers starting at 230,000 years. Some of these ancestors became pygmies. Then you have another layer of us. You got to think about it. Where do haplogroup E come from? EM96. EM96 was connected to the same people that became non-Africans. What they call in scientific Eurasian atom. Eurasian atom is placed at CTM168. That's the Y chromosome. He gave rise to CF, which gave rise to all non-Africans that diverged from FM89, and then he gave rise to DE, which gave rise to EM96. What did this happen? This happened with ancestral North Africans. So the EM96, these were Paleo-Saharan North African men that diverged 70,000 years ago, crossed down and intermingled with older populations. Then you got to get into who is the predecessor of the Niger Congo language. Now we get into the Onanian population that exists in the Sahara. These Onanian populations were the E carriers that penetrated down, and they even mixed with Eastern populations on the other side, which gave rise to these things called Kefians. The Kefians drift down in the Holocene period around 10,000 to 8,000 years ago, and they mixed with those Shamlanka type people, which is the ones that they found in those graves. This is the base of Proto-Niger Congo, and we start in between Mali, where you found a Sillerman, and Niger as we drift further down, and before we even become Bantus. The base of us is the Mindi groups in Mali.
Yeah, and African Americans, like you said, we got L1C. Like a lot of us got L1C, and my haplogroup was found at Shumlaka, and they say that they're described as, the West African hunter-gatherers that branched up a little bit to like Burkina Faso.
Yep.
Shit like that, and that got absorbed by other groups. And like you say, we got a ghost archaic component to us as well.
But that ghost signature in us, which is it can range from I think 2 to 8%, especially in Mandinka and Yoruba. But that ghost signal is related to that Jebel Ahud type motherfucker that was found in Morocco. Because when you look at Owo Elaru in Nigeria, his skull was similar to Jebel Ahud. And I think they need to go back and recalculate the time estimation on that, because it's like when they find shit south, they don't really recalculate it. But they did. Remember, at first, Jabal Hood was said to be 180,000 years old. Then at first they turned around and said he was 40,000. Then they went back and recalculated and said he was 300,000. Now they saying he's 270,000. When you look at the top of the skull, he looks very similar to a Sillerman. I mean, not a Sillerman, but Owa Elaru. Now here's the thing, but we also have a Y chromosome that's lingering in Cameroon with the Imbu people, which is A00. A00 is old. This goes back 315. That's the same marker that Mr. Perry had over here in America that they found. That A00 marker, but you found it with the Indu people in Cameroon. So this is telling the story that West Africans have fragmented, base, deep human layers of DNA, right? That diverge much earlier than other populations. And we don't have a lot of further genetic drift in some layers of our DNA. And this is the chunk that's being labeled as ghost population or the ghost signal. You see what I'm saying? So even though Jebel Hood was found in Morocco, those type of people wasn't from there, because you also had a skull similar to him called Florisbad skull in South Africa. These niggas, they went up there and died. It's crazy.
I'm saying that the phenotype traits that is found in
a Sillerman that starts around 10,000. That's about 7,000 years.
Right. So if we find those traits in the Adam and Eve Islands and all of that, then how do you account for that? You know what I mean? Like,
no, the full trait, like, so like you can see similarities, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Really look like that's why I was saying.
Just because of similarities don't mean like you get the full West African look. You see what I'm saying? You don't get.
So Chef, if you look at the Adam and Eve people, if you look at them, right, they look different. I mean, if you got all of us in here, all of us brothers, we all got a scientific eye. And if you look at them, you'll be able to see the difference. That's why I said the original West Africans.
Isolation makes you look weird. Like
it makes you look different. And not to mention, remember.
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the range.
So what I'm saying is this Congoid morphology.
It's gonna be limited gene flow.
This Congoid morphology that everybody's talking about, which makes the Negroid different in phenotype than everybody else, is based off the prognathism or the protruding mandibular that we have around our mouth area, right? A lot of us, some African Americans don't got it no more because of intermixing time and different things, but they're basing this off this specific feature that's common in Western Central Africa that class us as Congoids. You only find it at the oldest rate with a Sillerman in Mali. That's around 10,000 years. You do find it in older phases, especially in the Nile Valley, but it's mainly semi. It's not fully there. But it's a pseudo thing because we're not. A lot of our traits is not fully new. We have a lot of archaic old traits as well. It's just based off the mandibular or the protruding mandibular that we have. That's found in a lot of us that's being bounded as Negroid, why they say, oh, y'all knew. But if you study Western Central Africa, they have deep base human lineages. They have deep base human signatures that predates a lot of other groups of people in the human family. You see what I'm saying? So what we got to think about this in layers. What layer are you talking about, or people talking about when they say we're new? Because if you're talking about the protruding mandibular, which class makes us Negroid, that's fine. But you also have pseudoprognathism in certain groups of people.
I don't like it.
You shouldn't, because you know why you shouldn't. You know why you shouldn't, Chef? You know why you shouldn't like it? Because it's bullshit. It don't even make sense for real and real anthropology. It's a game. People use that because certain traits is new on people to try to, you guys are not really this. Even with that ghost signal that we got, they tried to put us in a subhuman category. And I don't even know what the fuck that is. That's stupid. So you have to catch the bullshit that these people, these racist panelists are doing online.
See, I hate when racist people use shit because then it's something that we don't want to identify with no more.
Not identify with it. It's wild. I'm not saying identify, but they use these things to separate us from the rest of humanity.
Yes.
Like it's done, and like you act like you
don't got things though that separate them though. Like,
no, they act like sub-Saharan Africans is completely distinct from all other humans on the planet. That's saying a lot, yo. That's loaded. And if y'all don't see that, like you gotta watch what you talk.
That make me
so Corey, the data doesn't say basically, Corey, and I get what you're saying, Corey. We all got differences that make us distinct. But what I'm saying is the data isn't saying what a lot of these people online, these narratives is saying, because when you hear people say, "Oh, y'all got ghost populations," and yes, we have a ghost signal in us, but what is that? Some people try to banter that with Homo erectus.
That don't mean we ain't humans. It is what it is, though.
It doesn't mean that you're correct. No, but here's the thing, Corey, you're correct. It doesn't mean that we're not. But what I'm saying is the way people online are trying to project it is if we are not off these little things, because they don't even know what the hell they're saying. So yes,
we can't let ignorance prevail, though. We can't let ignorance prevail. Why can't we be proud of our differences? You understand what I'm saying?
I ain't trying to. That's not safe. That's not safe.
I'm saying ain't no niggas on the planet like us niggas. You see what I'm saying?
That's why we act the way we act. And that's why we act the way we act. We think the way we think. You know what I'm saying? Because
you better watch that shit.
It's not a human. You're a different kind of human.
Exactly. You better watch that shit.
Fine. Listen, everybody want to be like us, though. Like everybody trying to be like us.
No, they don't.
As far as our style and shit, like
they like the dances. That's like the way we dance.
Global. Our style is global, bro. Come on.
Yeah, they find us entertaining, Corey. They do. They really
exactly.
Okay.
They're entertained by us.
What's wrong with that?
These niggas so hilarious.
Yeah, they so cute. Look how they wear their clothes.
That's how y'all taking it. That's a bad way to take it. Listen, I can own my uniqueness and be proud of it, bro. Like I don't have to look at it.
The uniqueness that they're giving you separates you from all other humans. Like
why they gotta give it to me? Why can't I just be that? Why can't that be the uniqueness that I'm taking?
Yeah, well, I can't even argue that. Like, have fun with that.
I don't know why I gotta be given something. Why they gotta be given to me?
If you don't think that shit,
I think it's God given. Everything that's unique about me is God given.
If you think that they already tried to separate us, you know what I mean, and it worked in the negative for us. So we then fought to get back into the human family, and they still trying to find ways to subdivide us even further down.
I don't know that we want to be a the family if they want to find a way to separate me and them fucking. I don't want to be.
We just got back into the human family in the early 1900s.
If they don't want to accept me,
right?
We had a whole century trying to get us out.
I don't know. Listen, I hear y'all. I definitely hear y'all point, and it's a good point. And I understand the dangers, right? Like that could be dangerous, but it could be dangerous the other way. Like why, the things that Ngozi said, wasn't nothing embarrassing to me. Like it distinguished me from other populations. Like we had
that's what they want to do. That's the point.
That's what they want. Unique bottlenecks, as other populations had their own unique bottlenecks and have their own unique features. You know what I'm saying? That's predominant. That most of the features you can find all over, but like say, most people got like some predominant features in their region. So, like, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess we got to be scared of what makes us beautiful, what makes us unique, what makes us not the same as every other motherfucker. You know what I mean? We got to be scared of that. That's me. That's
it. Just got to be careful.
Yep. Got to be careful what you celebrate.
True, man. Two things can be true. You can be careful, but also be proud in the distinct ethnic group you come from.
Yeah.
You ain't always got it, because the indication of you always saying, "Hey, we're a part of the human family." That is the indication of something in the past that we're not living under the same standards, like black culture.
And I'm not denying ethnic. I'm not denying ethnic.
No, I got you. I got you. I'm saying like you say, bringing up past historical things that was used by people that was very dangerous. And I agree, you got to be careful. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you should always say we are part of the human race for everything. It's times where you can be proud of your distinctness, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
If y'all know I celebrate being a black man, how could you ever think that I'm?
Oh, I didn't know what you meant just now. I mean, I didn't know what you meant just now.
You know what I mean? That would be crazy. Like, so if I gave y'all the impression.
So are you talking about hierarchy? You talking about like hierarchy and how that's different?
I'm not talking about hierarchy though. Like
I don't think that's what Corey was saying.
Yeah.
No, I know that's not what he's saying. I'm saying you have to keep your eye out for that. You can't just you just can't walk around talking about, sub-Saharan Africans are distinct from all other humans and your skull shape and this, that, and the third, and your mandibular, you know what I mean, protrudes out and pushes your upper jaw.
I don't know what a mandibular is, but it's my mandibular.
See, they always cut. They always cut in. They always cut in. Your mandibular, you know what I mean? Into your skull. Now you have a smaller brain because of that. You dig what I'm saying? Like all kind of nut ass shit. You know what I mean?
Listen, if my mandibular is bigger than everybody else's mandibular, man, listen. I'm gonna be proud of my mandibular, man. Let me have my mandibular. You know what I'm saying?
Take a feature, and what you do is you take a feature and you try to make that feature and those people so distinct that you can
gotta know when you win it, though, Chef. You told
me. Like, that shit dangerous, man.
Chef, you got to know when you win. They say your mandibular is the protruding mandibular, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I think you winning right there. I think
that is a fancy way of saying, nigga, your shit different. That's a fancy ass way of breaking that down.
Hey, I think you winning there, Chef, with your mandibular, man. Hey, listen, if they want to tell me my mandibular is better than everybody else's mandibular, I'm gonna accept it. You know what I'm saying?
They don't.
I kind of do it anyway. Like when you watch the Olympics, we all kind of do it anyway. When we watch the Olympics.
Mushmouth type.
Not that I have any clue what the hell a mandibular is, but it sounds good to me. Like, if a bitch walk up to you and be like, "Hey, look, hey, listen, you got a mandibular. You got your mandibular got it going on." I'm be like, yeah, man.
Crazy. They said it got that mishmaw type, goddamn.
Go watch Fat Albert and see if that shit is dope. Then go watch Fat Albert.
Fat Albert had a mandibular. What was wrong with Fat Albert?
Mushmouth. You dig what I'm saying? With the big jaw and all that dumb ass shit. They made caricatures out of that shit. Y'all think that shit's funny?
With the big jaw.
Nigga said Mushmouth from Fat Albert.
Hell, Bill Cosby do it, didn't he?
Hey, I'm crying.
That nigga, we got to ban Bill Cosby now.
Hey, look, Corey, this is what Dr. Banoob is doing, right? If y'all look at Dr. Banoob at the bottom, you have closet racists, bro, out here, right? And this is not for all North Africans. That nigga just said a Siller man, they never seeded anything and they stayed in sub-Saharan. But this is what people are saying. They are saying, this is what they saying. They saying you niggers ain't shit. Y'all never seeded shit, and y'all are descendants of a Siller man. And here's the thing about a Siller man. This is how stupid he is.
He's giggling with these motherfuckers.
They racist, bro. They just come around here because they bored, probably retired, ain't got shit else to do, and they just want to make fun of niggas. They want to say niggas is stupid all day. Dr. Banoob would never say none of this shit outside to somebody in person. He's a guy. This dude is a closet racist, bro. It's crazy.
All you got to do is tell him that why y'all focus on shit from 3,000 years ago and y'all economy fucked up now. So I think you can
exactly
joke back.
Exactly. and even though you are Egyptian, I don't take that away from you, but the modern cops don't give a fuck about their ancestors. They Christians. I don't give a fuck about no Osiris. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, this dude's ignorant, but he's trying to say you Asilla niggers, you people that descend from Asilla, man, ain't shit. This is what he's saying. This is really what he's saying. Y'all, he said y'all haven't contributed anything to humanity.
But do we descend from ancillary?
Let me tell you something.
Stop, Corey, stop.
I just want to know.
Hey, here's the thing, though. One African American, which is the greatest set of Africans in the world, who contributed to technology and everything, is better than anything a fucking Egyptian ever did. An ancient Egyptian. I'd rather be a fucking modern African American than to be a nigga living in Egypt 3,000 years ago. While you trying to be funny, think about all the inventions that African Americans have done here while you're trying to be funny. And not to mention, Nigerians are very smart and we descend from them. Look at them. So stop being racist, bro, talking that bullshit, bro, while you trying to be funny, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, we cleared them. Yeah, we cleared them as far as African Americans.
So, like, bro, listen, all the bullshit racist shit is fine, but we can point to the shit that's real, right? We can still be proud of who we is. Now, whether we descend from Ancillary Man or not, I mean, listen, that is fine if we descend from Ancillary Man.
We come from Herdo Man.
Ancillary Mans, the niggas who descended from Ancillary Man will whoop Dr. Banu's ass right now.
My daddy will beat your daddy.
Absolutely.
Beat the shit out of Dr. Banu. So why
don't want no problems with them tropical
about denying whether we descend from Ancillary Man? Let's be proud of Ancillary Man. Obviously, Ancillary Man was an ass whooping motherfucker. Obviously. See what I'm saying? See, I don't have to deny being a descendant of Ancillary Man. You know what I mean?
The brothers that's most sexually selected. The Egyptian people are complaining about the Nigerians right now coming over there doing what the fuck they doing. We stretch it from Nigeria all the way to fucking China in Europe.
That's why all of them mad at us. Because
that's why they mad. That's just what it is.
We put the mandibular on them bitches. That's why they be mad at us. See? Why we gotta deny the mandibular when the bitches, when all the bitches love mandibular, right? Every bitch, every kind of bitch in the world, you name them, the Vietnamese bitch, Chinese bitch, any bitch you name, right? Love our mandibulars. You see what I'm saying? They hating on us.
That's crazy, bro.
Right. So let me be proud of my mandibular. I don't give a damn about what you niggas say. You niggas can deny your mandibular if you want to.
Oh yeah, what's crack? I'm back, y'all. Crack.
So here's my thing. We don't have to. None of us on here believe that we gave rise to ancient Egypt. We don't give a fuck about ancient Egypt. I talk about ancient Egypt because it's classical. It's beautiful. But at the end of the day, we not them. We don't claim your ancestors. So this the wrong audience for you to be listening to, Dr. Banoob. Go be hunting somebody else because we not even on that shit in here, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck about it.
I don't give a fuck about no Egypt, boy. I promise
you. Yeah, hey, anywhere Niger Congo nigga go, we fucking all the bitches. The fucking Arabs cutting our dick, the Arabs cutting our dicks off and shit, making us fucking eating us because they know them bitches on us, bro.
That's what it is. That's the truth.
When we go to fucking East Africa, the Horn and shit, we fuck all they hoes. Even I dated a chick in Ngozi, I dated a chick that was half Fulani, half Habesha, because our daddy was fucking from fucking Guinea-Bissau. He was over there fucking all them hoes. You know
we be slanging dick from goddamn it here to goddamn it Beijing.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening. We the most selected, and it's been like that. So I don't know what the fuck his problem is, yo. Shit's crazy.
Shit, they better quit playing with Ancillary Man. They better quit playing with Ancillary Man. That mandibular. He been putting that mandibular on all them hoes, boy. I'm telling you.
And that base, sub-Saharan, or people south of the Sahara of East Africa, is what sprung humanity. Humanity didn't come from North Africa. It didn't come from nowhere else. Homo sapiens developed right there in the Omo Kabis Valley, around that area. Jebel Ahud wasn't even from up there in Morocco. So I'm just saying, like, this sub-equatorial zone on the continent, if we understand radiation, the more mutations, DNA damage, right? When deoxyribonucleic acid damage because of volumes of radiation causes more mutations, Homo sapiens can only develop in tropical zones the way we did. Even with the complexity of our cerebral cortex, thinking fast, functioning the way we function, for neurons to function the way it functions because of the habitats and environments we were in to think, it happened right there. So when you say we didn't give rise to humanity did this shit right there, bro. We don't need to be Egyptian. All you motherfuckers is a result of genetic drift. That's all y'all motherfuckers are. They ripped it off a long time ago and went through bottlenecks.
Like I said, only 2 crayons left out of Africa. God damn it! All the rest of the whole crayon box has been sitting here the whole time.
At base, absolutely.
I missed a whole lot. Just hey! I just wanted to pop in and say what's up. I think I missed a whole lot of conversation, but if you can't find inspiration in the different individuals in these rooms, then people, need to not be in this Discord or just leave, right? I find inspiration in the way you guys present your opinions, your stories, your background, and your history. That's crazy. And that's what this Discord is about. We try to leave the personal stuff out and not even just deal with the information. Those are 2 extremes. But in the middle is where we all brothers and sisters. And that's dope. So we done been up and down different conversations, and I'm inspired by all of you, from Corey, the chef. Brass is the supreme instigator that instigated all this. Not in a negative way, but to have this as a platform that we can come in here and talk, disagree, and agree. And the next day, get up, do it all over again without any animosity or malice. And
radio.
That's dope. That's dope. Even though Chef is the problem, and it's all Brass's fault, we can, get up every day.
Hey, but Gozy, let me be fair with you, Gozy, because I got some critique for you, Gozy. Right? You still on here? Is it Gozy still on?
He left.
Oh, he left. Damn. Well, never mind.
I think he's listening in though.
Well, I don't
say type it in the chat.
He ain't on the battle. I ain't even gonna say it.
But you think we're live or something? I don't think so.
I just looked up. We are live. When Ngozi said Dr. Banu quote, I was like, "We live." And that's when I looked it up. We are. Brass slick ass nigga.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello?
Oh yeah. So you back, Gozy? Yeah. So Gozy. Now the other day, right? I don't know how long ago y'all did the interview, but I saw the interview with you and Unc and Soy Kita, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I was my red flags was up automatically when you got on the panel and he thought to himself he took it upon himself to say to you that he got a good bullshit detector, right?
You got a disclaimer. Put a disclaimer out there.
Yeah. So my red flags was already up from before you even said your statement, but you gave a statement. Does anybody remember what Ngozi said, or what was his question or something? What was that question you asked, Ngozi?
I think I asked him about. It was like I was only able to bring up 2 or 3 questions. I think I asked him about the Natufians or something like that.
I think so. You asked him about the Natufians,
yeah,
right? And but the answer he gave you was, I can't even really remember the answer.
He brought up a book from the early 1900s.
Said they had tropical proportions still.
Yes, that's what he said. He said you said something about the Natufian and this and that and the other, right? And then he was like, yeah, but just to let you know, they had tropical limb proportions. Now, me knowing the audience that this is being conveyed to, and seemingly he knows the audience that this is being conveyed to, right? I think that was a rather dishonest answer, right? Because like, why in light of your question or your statement, right? Why would he feel necessary to seemingly rebut that with the question, with the thing about the tropical limb proportions? Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now that's one thing now that I want you to comment on, right?
Okay.
But now I have a critique for you, right? Because within his bullshit answer, now you to me, in my eyes, you started bullshitting along with him with the Baba Keita and all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I understand there's got to be a level of respect, but at the same time, I felt like he disrespected you with his dishonesty, and then you kind of like pandered to it. You know what I'm saying? Which to me is a little dangerous. But go ahead.
So yeah, I get your point. A lot of people said that. Here's the thing. Before we got on the show, Brother Unc said that Shamaka Keita didn't want to talk to everybody. So I wasn't there to debate with him. He just wanted. Hold on, let me just say this. So the thing is, he wanted me to jump on just to ask questions, right? To get the people, interested, because a lot of things people wasn't asking him. So I got on there. He said he didn't want to debate. That was already established before I got on there, right? So I got on there and asked him a couple of questions. First, I want to say this. I called him an elder and a Baba because he's Muslim. I'm Muslim. And I don't know you guys are not religious, but you got to make 1,000 excuses for a fellow Muslim before you just, go out there and try to attack a fellow Muslim. That's just Islam. Like, I get it. Y'all don't understand it. So he's also an elder. So, and I'm going to call him that, and he's certified. He got credentials, but I will say this. So that was just my level of respect. That's just my respect to the brother. But I could have critiqued that, but it wasn't the moment for that, because here's the thing. He didn't want to go backwards and forth anyway. So I get where you coming from. And it was his moment. It was for him. So the critique is he really didn't answer the question. He brought up a book based off what someone else said. But we know that book is outdated because they have available data from 2023 and 2025 when the Natufians did not have tropical limb proportions. They had intermediate limb proportions. And they were mixed with a already admixed North African population that drifted over there and mixed into the Cambrian population. This wasn't a sub-Saharan population that left out of the continent. They were already highly admixed that was similar to Ibero-Maurusians that left out and drifted into the Levant and mixed with those indigenous populations there, the Cambrians, which later on became the Tufians, because they mixed with them, then they became the Mushabians, and the Mushibians turned around and mixed with more Cambrians, and then they became the Tufians much later. So they didn't have tropical limb proportions, they had intermediate limb proportions. But I wasn't there for that because he didn't want to argue about that publicly. So that's just what that was, brother. That's why I showed him his respect.
Because it was a mix.
But I just want to give you a critique on that. That's all.
No, Corey. Hey, brother, listen. Like I told Hoskell said that I was what he say? I ain't mad at. Listen, brother, we men. So my thing is, y'all got to write to y'all opinion. I know to the audience, because you guys are y'all warriors in this field, and this the underground, this battle rap. So it's like y'all ready to cut motherfuckers' heads off right then and there. And I think it's a time and place for me, my methodology. It's a time and place to battle certain people. Shamaka Keita already said, and Unc said he didn't even want a lot of people to come on there. It was only certain people that Unc was allowing to come on there to ask questions.
Yeah, I was just looking. I just looked at it as he was just talking about it's a mixture in there. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you read the fucking subject matter, you should already fucking know anyway. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Bin Laden tall linky ass got fucking tropical limb proportions. You know what I'm saying?
And tropical limb proportions, a lot of people don't know. That don't mean nothing, because a lot of that could be a result of convergence. Because if you get people that migrate into tropical or hot zones, they can adjust and adapt those traits much later. Just because you have tropical limb, like for example, the Nuret individual, his structure was similar to hybrid Africans. The proxy that they used as hybrid Africans was African Americans and white Americans. So when people read that, a pseudo would be like, damn, see, that proves that they was us. But people don't understand body breaths and body lengths, or tropical limb proportions, the body limbs and body breaths, and adaptations to populations that come in. You sit somewhere for 6,000, 8,000 years, you're going to have a lot of drifts that occur. The same way with African Americans and white Americans. Their skulls are getting harder compared to the ancestors that we come from. You can look this up. This is in science. So evolution is still happening right now amongst us, and we only been here for 500 or 400 years. So traits you're gonna have changes that occur, So I don't look at a tropical limb proportions as if that's a help to say this proves that they're sub-Saharan. Why do they have these limb proportions? What's causing this? How long were they there for them to develop this? That's the question that we have to tackle and answer when ask why they have it, But I wasn't there for that, bro. I wasn't there for that. So I just say, hey, you know, elder, blah blah.
That's the acceptable. That's the acceptable answer. You know, and again, I wasn't expecting you to be debating him or nothing like that. You know, it's just that you know, like it was a little cringy for me.
I caught it. I caught it because he said when he said, you know, when he said he's an elder, but you know, he said, you know, the bullshit radar, and I'm like, okay, cool, you know, but I was just there for.
Y'all like y'all don't got grandparents, even though he's still anthropologist or MD. That man down there 80 years old, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I
ain't mad, but
just still granddad up there, man. Come on.
It was cringy. It was just slightly, just for me. That's all.
You can't
but I will say this, Corey.
I
will say this, Corey. I will say this, Corey. Corey, I will say this, that he is one of my favorites. I do believe, you know, he does double talk. His writing is different than what he say, but he's one of my favorites. And people be like, well, how is he one of your favorites? A lot of his writing or the literature that he have, a lot of that stuff is great, you know, and he is certified. But when he talks around certain audiences or a specific group, it does seem like it's pandering to a certain idea, but he doesn't say it directly. But he is one of my favorites when it comes to his writing and the literature that he put out in the field of bioanthropology. He got some good stuff that's still, you know, used and accredited based off who he is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's a brilliant brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he is. You know, it's just that, you know, what you said, that audience, you know, is certain audiences that, you know, he kind of, when he's speaking to them, you know, there's some pandering there. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That's all. You know.
Oh, that's 100. I'm sure a lot of people is like, damn, and Goldie capping and Goldie, yeah, that motherfucker, that nigga sit up there. Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna take all those hits. I get it. I'm gonna take those hits. Wallahi, I get it. But look,
but hey, I can't be mad at you though. I can't be mad.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm sure if y'all would have talked to him, y'all would have tried to cut his head off. I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't have. You know, I kind of would have. So it's a way to do, you know what I mean? I would have found a way to, you know, kind of like ask a follow-up question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to kind of see if I could suss it out of them. But I think you gave up a little bit too quick. It's more of my critique. You know what I'm saying?
My whole thing is this. I'm going to always say this. And I just got into a conversation with Reggie on the private show he had. And he was like, you know, he don't believe modern Egyptians look like the ancient Egyptians. And I'm pointing out what these people arguments are. And I'm like, look, Reggie, it doesn't matter what their skin tone were. The people in that area look like their ancestors more than anybody. You know, his issue is when he started talking about Zahi Hawass, he started saying, no, he's a Turk, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, that's not true. The people look very much like their ancestors, from the light skin to the darker groups. Even the darker groups, people try to play that game to try to put them in the Nubian category. The Saadi people, and even some of the Fellahin that's indigenous to Egypt, I'm talking about the darker groups, they still don't look like the Sudanese type, even though you can find some similarity because of close affinity. I mean, close proxy. But the darker groups don't even look like these people have a consistent look. You know, people
tell like they be my color, but you can still tell, like, man, like, yo, no, you can tell something ain't us. He ain't us. You know what I mean?
And it's a lot of discrimination that goes on with the modern Egyptians. And you also find these insulting terms to our Moroccan brothers and sisters, like my brother Shakir. Shakir's Moroccan, the brother that's on here. He has specific features. But then when you go south, some people try to, like, I was looking at them when they was playing soccer, and some Algerians was trying to say they look, because some of them have robust features, they try to make them seem like they niggers in a racial term. All Moroccans don't look the same. Some Moroccans can look very Southern European like, and some can look intermediate. But people try to use that as a banner to slap them with. See, because Moroccans are looked at because of some of their features is looked at as being like some of them, not all of them, but similar to niggers or Negroes. Because some of them had these broad features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of them, but most of them don't have that. So they can have a lot of like Negroid. I guess I'm saying that with a broad.
Because of Southern Morocco and Mauritania, there are definitely black groups in
Yeah,
Morocco that been there.
The ancestors, the ancestors of the modern Haratian, even before the Arabic slave trade and all that shit. They ancestors come from a northern leakover from Proto-Mindi groups that was just up there lingering around. There was a minority amongst them Berbers, Amazigh.
That's what I'm saying.
They there. And the people that you would consider black is in Morocco, right? They're indigenous. You know what I mean? You can look it up. It's tribes. They're still there. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's no way, even if you could trace their music, right? They got a distinct music that they give credit to these what we would call black
You
people.
talking about the Ganawa? You talking about the Ganawa?
These people are indigenous Moroccans. But that's a hold on. Let me say this. Now the Moroccans was dope about them when they won that World Cup, right? Yeah. They told the Arabs, fuck them. You feel me? Don't try to claim that we fucking Arab now. They said we the first African nation.
That's right.
To win the motherfucker. They proclaimed their Africanness, right?
Yeah.
And that was dope what they did. They said y'all don't rock with us like that. Don't try to rock with us because we won this motherfucking World Cup. He said this is the first African World Cup, not Arab shit.
Hey, it's crazy you said that, Chef, because like real Egyptians, like motherfuckers be saying they know Egyptians. Like, if you really talk to real Egyptians and shit, Egyptians don't fuck with Arabs. They hate when you call them Arabs. Shit, they don't fuck with Arabs.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Even French Montana, he embraced being African. He ain't never said he was nothing else, regardless of what they look like. These dudes can look like straight Italians, but they would tell you, I'm a fucking African. They don't play that shit, man. Moroccans love their country.
And that's my point. That look is an African look. The motherfuckers keep trying to put the Arab look on them, but that's an African look. Is what was my
absolutely.
I'll be watching the ancestry joints. You know, when people do their ancestry and they open it online, man, them North Africans go crazy when they find out they got Nigerian in them. They like, I knew it. They be happy as fuck. You feel me? They love it like Nigerians.
Bro, partially shit, even a language shit, the fucking shit, Proto-Semitic come out of fucking the Fayum and shit before it went into Asia. You know what I'm saying? Became fully Semitic. You know what I'm saying? In the Levant.
It's only us over here, man. And when you get to those borders, when you start to touch the Sahel, south of the Sahara, you're gonna find people that look similar to niggas that's south. You're gonna find similarities because you're touching the border. You're gonna find that when you go north, Mediterranean people on the coast should look like Mediterranean people. They should look like people on the other side of the Mediterranean.
Yeah,
you know that's just the continent.
Bro, we've been the niggas like the niggas from around the Niger area. They've been calling us niggas since the fucking Greek. Like even when you look at the Greek, they distinct us from the Amazigh groups. You know what I'm saying? They call them the Palisi or the Farasi group, and they say they like immediately below them or the Negri or the Negratis or whatever they call us in Greek term. You know what I'm saying? Which the fine black people. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, I think that's where we fell off at, though, right? When we stopped, like your statement was, we always been the niggas, right? Like, once we start adopting them niggas, the other niggas shit, right? Like, that's where we fell off at, right there. That was the fall off because what I think if it's what we doing now. We trying to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to, like they saying, no, we been the niggas. We been the niggas the whole motherfucking time. Let's just stand up and be the niggas and be proud of being the niggas and let's do us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think we fought off by trying to convince somebody. You know what I'm saying?
But I think derogatory and different is two different things, right? Right. If I'm different than you, if I'm different than you and you recognize that, that's cool. Derogatory, the negative connotation, the I'm better than you or you're less than me, that's different. that's a different segment. And again, now I could think Chef is less than me if I impose my will on him because he's different, and I use different mechanisms. And I think we talked about this earlier. If I approach Chef, okay, he's different. That's cool. Okay, he's less than me. So if he's less than me, I could take what he has. I can enforce my will, make him believe what I believe. All type of things. I can re-educate
I
him.
think that was the initial mistake, though. Believing what you believe. It was the initial Chevron.
No, I agree. You
know what I'm saying?
That's the diversion. Recognition of something that's different is not the same as something that's less than you. Now, say when the ships landed here, they're different than us. Now they're a threat. That's a different, mind state. They are a threat. So even if I see Chef is different, better than him may not be my initial thought. It may be he's a threat. He got more than I got. He showed up in a boat. He got this medal. He got this. He got to go. He's a threat. So there's all type of ways when we see people who are different, the interactions are different, right? If you call someone a savage, whatever it meant in that time, right? Or you call someone a threat, you assess it. Or these people are lost. They hungry. Let me feed them. Let me clothe them. Let me help them. Let me trade with them. They came here with something I don't have and they want something I have. Trade. That's easy. Barter system. You got something I need. I got something you want. Easy. But it doesn't turn out that way. It doesn't a lot of times. Because then you get military. We talked about that. You get religion. You get all these extra things. Trading companies. That's what they start off, allegedly, as trading. They got nutmeg. They got bananas. They got spices. We just gonna trade. They got silk. But it turns into, okay, you know what? We kind of stronger than them. Oh, we're going to put a base here. We're going to influence trade. Oh, yeah, I don't like their gods. They're going to have to deal with our God. And now you got religion imposing on people. So there's a point that this diverges into something that ends up, I know more, I have more, I'm better. You're not. You're weaker. But
quick question. The chat wants to know what y'all mean by niggas and why y'all keep saying that shit.
You said what?
I didn't know y'all was
chat wants to know when y'all keep saying we them niggas, what are y'all saying? Like, what do you
saying? I'm saying they've been calling us. I was saying they've been calling us the motherfucking Niger Congo motherfucker black people of shit since the Greeks. That's all I was saying.
And they said something about asking about the Jewish state. Was that something y'all was talking about?
No.
Nobody in here paying attention.
Nah.
I didn't even know we was live. My bad. Peace to the chat. Like, share, subscribe.
It's like 40 people watching this show. So
if they heard half the shit.
They said asking Gozy about the Jewish state. I don't know what that was about, but then Gozy ain't here.
Now and Gozy got to tell these niggas about
the Jewish.
I have no idea, bro.
And they giving Gozy hell, man.
I'm just running the live, but I can't run the chat.
You know
right
what the
now.
funniest part about that shit is? He always saying Gozy don't know what he's talking about. However, they always asking him questions to clear up something. It's like, bro, like
I mean, the range of what they ask him is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
now he got to be Henry Kissinger.
Dick, yo.
He got to go from Soy Peter to Henry Kissinger.
Stop the big words. Stop the big eating.
Bro, I doubt any of these people know who the hell.
Yeah, you heard something now.
Yeah, hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's a chat going. Somebody try to look at the chat every now and then.
Yeah, I will say this about Ngozi, and I think I said it earlier. People like him, Unc, and Kent will end up that these are humans doing human things. And I know we want to be particular when we either agree with people or we disagree, but Gozy is one of them people. Unc is too, and Kent is from the Pseudo Killers.
No, you mean
that will
Gullah,
bring
bro.
your
That's me.
ass back.
You mean me, bro. That's Gullah. This my
Okay,
the hard way.
okay, and Gullah too. My bad, my bad. Hold on.
Don't hate on my man Kent.
Yeah, no, but these are people that I ain't saying y'all heard. I'm saying that I heard. When the end of the argument comes, it's like, look, humans are doing human things, right? They're doing so. Nothing is off the table if a human did it. Nothing is above a human. Like these are human beings doing. These are groups. These are civilizations. There's things going on around them right now. We try to bring it to what 2025 earlier, talking about Afrocentrics or African spirituality. What's going on right now that in 30 years our kids going to go back and go, hold on, what was y'all doing? You know, what was y'all doing when Umar was running rampant? How come y'all didn't shut him down?
They're saying that in Gozy,
why the Bible was compared to Charlotte Webb last night.
Fuck. Hey, listen. That'd be a whole
second time I heard
that.
That
That actually pissed me off forever. But hey, in Gozy, they saying that Gozy said that the Coptics weren't proud of ancient Egypt. They wanted him to explain that. But if one of y'all can explain,
they
that,
Christians.
Say that.
They don't
follow the culture no more.
They don't follow Osiris no more. They don't give a damn about Osiris. They Christians.
Oh Christ.
Well, I guess that's what they mean. I don't know. But I'll check back in. I'm floating around my crib. I gotta run upstairs.
None of them niggas care about this shit, bro. Go to the fucking pyramid.
Them niggas Muslim. Them niggas Muslim now or Christian. Like I said, he's a Muslim or Christian.
Well, you specifically said the cops, so they
dead animals and shit and carcasses. They don't give a fuck about that shit.
No, even most majority of shit. The cop majority of Egyptians, indigenous Egyptians today are fucking Arabs. Today they Arab. Even the fucking Arabic dialect is in Egypt is specialized because it got the fucking indigenous language in the fucking dialect.
Right.
You got the fucking Coptic shit is in the fucking Arabic. That's why Egyptian Arabic is distinct from other Arabic dialects.
Yeah. They just got let back into the Arab Union. Like they the Arab Republic. Like, man, fuck y'all ain't no Arabs for real. But then they let them back in. You know what I mean? So they bouncing. You know what I'm saying? They bouncing from motherfucking place to place. They displaced.
when they need them.
Yeah.
You feel me? when it was the seat of the caliphate, they used it. You dig what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, when the Sunnis and the Shias had that big rough, Egypt became a battleground.
The hell was that?
You dig what I'm saying? And it was the seat of the caliphate. The caliphate was in motherfucking Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When Baghdad fell, they had to use, you know what I mean, Egypt as being the centralized power of the Muslim faith. Then the caliphate moved when the Mongols sacked Baghdad. You know what I mean? The caliphate had to move to Egypt, like so for them to play games with them like they're not Arabs, and you know what I mean? Well, make sure an Arab is speaking the language and the culture. You dig what I'm saying?
Everybody used them the same way. The Jewish niggas used them the same way. The Christians, every time something happened, they ran over to Egypt. You know what I mean? Like, yo, the shit going on at the crib. We gonna come chill at your crib.
Hixos.
This nigga's asking me my name now.
It's Brass last name _. That's it.
Why the fuck does it matter how a nigga got that's the origination of Mikasa and Sukasa. That's where that originated at in Egypt. You know.
Mikasa, Sukasa.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Manu, if y'all proud, pick them dead cows up and shit around that fucking pyramid.
Stop eating rotten fish.
Yeah, pick that nasty ass shit up around the pyramid. You know it's real, nigga. Relax.
Wow. Oh, y'all heavy in the comments. I ain't even looked. Yeah,
And for some reason, they understand sub-Saharan Egypt, but can't define the word brash. This is hilarious.
And why the fuck do a nigga care what a nigga got a childhood nickname? What the kind of
nigga said, "What is a brash kid?"
Bro.
All right,
Real,
brash means
bad
in Midwest terms.
We have a question.
In Midwest terms, I was a very brash kid.
Purpose, Sam?
They say he acts brash.
Hold on. You know, there's a such thing, and we have to try, unfortunately, to deal with relevant comments. And unfortunately, some people show up. Yeah, you know, some people show up to divert and insinuate and antagonize. Yeah, that's y'all. That's why I said I stay inspired because we can stay on topic on or off the live. And I think, you know, we done met new brothers and sisters that we deal with, got different points of view. We could get loud some days, but the next day we still can conversate. That's crazy. And in these environments.
Yeah,
wake up the next day.
Crash out too. Yeah, crash out, chat.
Yeah,
that's facts. And nothing personal. Nothing.
And how many people in the chat is on Twitch? I need everybody to go get on Twitch. I'm about to start moving my show over on Twitch. You feel me?
What's the name?
I'll subscribe to it.
I tried to do.
Yeah, you put the link in the chat. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna put the link in the chat when I get home.
Yeah, do that. Join the Discord. Somebody put the
join the Discord
link in there.
Discord.
If you agree, disagree, you guys, you know, something to say, you want to, you know, put forth, join the Discord, join the conversation.
Save the kids. We're not off.
We launching the new show on. We launching the new show and the new channel in a couple weeks. And it's going to be on Twitch also. So everybody get on Twitch. Get on Twitch.
Hey, Breeze, go ahead, say what you saying. I said don't play a lot of games.
Quick question to the chat, man. I just want to know, since y'all call us dumb, I say we don't know what we talking about, all this shit, right? Y'all tune in. Please just come join, set us straight. Give us all this top secret information that fell in your lap that we missed. Come share it with us, please. That's all I want. Just come share it. You got it.
Yeah, because we just up here kicking it.
Harbor it.
Yeah, we just up here kicking it. We can get shit wrong. We just having a conversation.
No, that's not a weird question to say to kids. Not at all. I thought you didn't understand what the word brash meant. That's all.
We use South Radio.
Yeah, they don't realize we're talking. Yeah, we just talking. This isn't a study session.
If y'all so invested and y'all got all the best accurate
career, I'm gonna drop the Discord link. Y'all can come in here and cuss us out.
I would love to see it. I would love to see the shit that fell on your desk and missed all ours. Please.
Hey, half of us is working and doing family business.
Oh, okay, that's pure black.
All day while we on here kicking it.
Why you change your name to Save the Kids become an atheist? Pure black.
You in high school tried to run one on me though. Just earlier though, like I was wrong. Like y'all try to act like I was wrong, but I just want to make clear, like after all that was said and done, Sosa was included in that too. Like Gozy came and cleared it up that no, I knew what the hell I was talking about.
Nah, everything
that's all. I just wanted to put that out there because I know y'all forgot about that. Right. Y'all forgot about that and y'all started letting that slide.
Fucking with them.
I came in and I told you that the niggas look slightly different than sub-Saharan African. Y'all try to argue my ass down. I said that so I got a source that said the same thing. I try to point to Adam and Islanders.
Oh, you changed it.
Nah, you was saying at 7th. I said, yeah, at 7,000, because that's too much back migration back going on back there. You can't avoid that shit. It's mixed. That's North African look. But you were trying to make it seem like they didn't even have to go outside of Africa for that shit to happen. I'm like, no, that ain't real.
No. So what I was saying about not leaving out of Africa is that they not that they look like, you know, Zahir Wild, is that they had already had a distinct look though. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
dope.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. At least that's what I'm telling you. No, they did not. They
They didn't have a
different.
Goldie didn't just come over here and clear that up.
Nah, he said slightly different. That's why he said it. Look at Al. He said slightly, but not like it is now. Exaggerated. No, little slightly different. Yeah, but not like it is now, bro.
I mean, they're gonna have the differences, bro. Those migrations take time. It ain't like them niggas like, all right, y'all, we leaving out tomorrow. Like, bro, it was gradual, so they're gonna develop differences as they go out and come back in. So
yeah. If you like I said, if you understand like the phenotype, like it take a while. Like you gotta be cut off.
So I think I don't know if my point is clear though to you. So like what I'm saying is like when they left out, it wasn't a bunch of niggas looking like me leaving out.
What time? Man, when they
you're talking about. What time? They wasn't looking like me.
They said that you didn't even exist at that time, Corey.
Right.
It depends on what time. It depends on what time. It depends on what time period we're talking about. One of them motherfuckers.
They was
not. One of them motherfuckers moving out all at the same time like that, bro. Like it was a lot, bro. It wasn't no people moving all at the same time, all at the same time.
People existed before we did.
No, that ain't what's
that's what they said at once, yo.
They were not moving at one time. They move. Listen. They move and they fucking other people and shit. They fucking people that left out before they did all type of complex shit going on. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just like you playing fucking checkers or some shit. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers moving. They fucking other populations that was in the region before they were there.
They on foot.
Scholar, I'm having a hard time believing that white people existed before my people did.
No, that's not what he's saying.
I ain't say that. I ain't say that.
Hold on, Chef. Hold on, Chef. Hold on.
One at a time.
Hold on. That a Suleiman. I said it earlier. I said that a Suleiman is not the exact date of whatever that phenotype came out of. That's just the date of that particular skeleton. That shit go that whatever that phenotypical type is. It shit go way back. You just can't find that shit in fucking tropical regions of Africa. You only can find it in gray areas, in dry areas.
I need Sosa.
Man, Chief X don't know what the fuck. Chief X don't know what the fuck he be talking about.
No, hold on. I need Sosa right now. Hold on, Sosa and Chef, right? If we go back through evolution, right? Now, there was a point where we had more body hair, right? Yes or no, right?
I'm not even talking about that.
Nah. Okay, I ain't talking about that. Hold on. I thought this was interesting.
But you finna fuck it up. You finna fuck it up though yourself.
No, I'm not, bro. Relax.
I know you is. I know you is.
Relax, because I'm gonna say underneath. Now I don't know what part of sapien they was, right? Underneath all of that body hair, what color was their skin? I need Sosa to talk.
No, you fucking it up though.
Gullah.
They was two-tone.
Hold on. I know I'm fucking it up. I'm asking Sosa. What is that called? That person, is it sapien, ABC, whatever. But more body hair, less actual. Go ahead, Sosa. My bad. Go ahead.
What? So they got a farmer's tan, is what you
saying? With the hair, they're gonna be lighter skin. We'll be lighter skin.
What's going on here?
Let Sosa answer though.
With the lighter skin, it'll be paler skin. I'm trying to figure out where we're going with it though.
No. I heard that in the conversation. Hold on, because when we get to the skin color thing, right? More body hair. Go ahead, Sosa. I'm sorry.
So like hundreds of thousands of years ago. You know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to figure out where we going with it.
I just wanted you to answer that one thing, right? If you have more body hair, your skin color would be what? Lighter or darker? I'm just talking to Sosa.
Lighter.
Lighter. Okay.
Lighter.
But it depends. It depends on how much hair is exposed to radiation, though. They're like a bonobo. A bonobo don't have as much hair as a robust chimp, so they two-tone. Where they got more hair exposed, they are darker in those regions. So it's a complex thing, like you know what I'm saying.
They got the farmers.
Yeah, motherfucker, they just lose hair, just fall out. Motherfucker gradually happen, like through generations and shit. You know what I'm saying? When as generations and babies had less and less hair, you know what I'm saying, through neoteny. You know what I'm saying? The areas where the skin was more exposed was darker, and areas where the hair was probably lighter. You know what I'm saying? It's the same like a bonobo is. You know what I'm saying? Bonobo got a dark, you know what I'm saying? Got less hair. Yeah.
All right.
No,
so listen, that's kind of where I was going. I wanted y'all to elaborate on that part too, because to me that was interesting.
So you just derailed.
I just want to hear Sosa and Gullah chimed in, and y'all could just X me out. But I thought that was interesting, right? And Gullah chimed in. See, he didn't kill me like you trying to do shit. Yeah.
Corey, would you consider those Adam and Eve Island people like you? You don't think they like you? What do you think?
No, I wouldn't.
They're not like you?
They're more robust. They're more robust than me.
No, they ain't robust. They're not robust than you. They're actually way less robust than you, Corey.
It's like you robust. You know, robust is like Neanderthals are robust. But like,
I'm officially
them people are grass. Them people are gracile. Them people are gracile.
I don't like it.
Shit, Neanderthals.
Yeah, y'all niggas sound like some Neanderthals every time.
No, let Corey explain. Corey, in what ways are they more robust? What ways are they?
They're not. They're not. Corey just
They're not robust. They're gracile. Actually, hold on. And what's another crazy part is the Andaman Island is like this deeper in the southern islands, like the Jawara groups. But like the ones that's in the Big Island, they got a little bit more mix of outside groups. But the motherfuckers is like the Jawara groups and all them motherfuckers got no Neanderthal or no Denisovan admixture. So them niggas is pure motherfucking Homo sapiens. Yeah.
Pure African.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a snapshot right there for you, Corey. That's preserved for you to see. Like that's the only type, but that tell you that they were outside wandering in England. And
they left out later. That D and that M that they carried, like that, especially that D left out early, like and left out of Africa, like not early, but a later time than other groups, genetic markers or whatever left. Like that haplogroup D that they mostly carried, that shit left out like around fucking 50,000 years ago compared to the 60,000, 70,000 years of the earlier, CT, haplogroup markers. Because the haplogroup D branched out from E. You know what I'm saying? E and D split. You know what I'm saying? But D left out of Africa later.
Between 50 and 70K. Between 50 and 70K.
Yeah, so if they obviously they will have more robust features, especially like in their face and shit than me. You know what I mean? Like
Corey, you tripping, man.
Those
find another word, Corey.
Yeah,
maybe we should take a look at them guys, Corey.
Yeah, I think
you'll be more robust, Corey, because them niggas, because you got that motherfucker. Corey, you got ghost population mixed in you, nigga. You from West Africa. You more robust, nigga.
Yeah. So maybe that's what I mean then. Maybe I'm more robust then. But I want to say, I do want to say, I hate talking about the Adam and Eve Islanders, bro. Automatically, as soon as somebody bring the Adam and Eve Islanders up, I know like it's a bunch of confusion. I know we finna be confused now. You know what I'm saying?
If you're talking to me though, like why would you even you talking to me though?
Not issue, but and this is rare of you to bring up the Adam and Eve. Like this ain't like you. So
relevant.
So what he actually saying is he hate when Haskell bring up the Adam and Eve Islands, and you just brought it up. That's really what he. That's
but it's relevant. There's a time when you're supposed to bring it up. Yeah, you come across a time when it's actually relevant. Very relevant.
Yeah, Haskell ain't gonna have no context. Ain't gonna have no context to this shit.
Every time you try to stump somebody, but what about the Adam and Eve? That's the first thing you say.
It'd be wild to be like, bro, what?
yeah, Haskell ain't gonna have no context to this shit at all. Like, I don't even know why
he goes straight.
Peace, brother Reggie.
Elaborate.
Yeah,
Peace,
brother
Reggie.
As soon as he try to stop me, he bring up them damn Andamanese Islands.
Yeah, and they don't never do nothing but confuse the conversation. I swear, talking about the Andamanese Island ain't never brought me no clarity.
If you want to look at out of Africa
Brother Reggie in the
migration,
building.
out of Africa migration, who you gonna look? Like that's a snapshot. Like
I think that
maybe you don't get it. Maybe you don't get it. It left out between 50 and 70K. That's when they go out.
They
left out like around 50. I say they left around 50.
But what about the Andamanese Islanders? We could be talking about
50 and 70 to be said.
Yeah, they will bring up the
Andamanese
somehow the Andamanese Islanders and Hitler gonna come up in every.
Yeah, like he quick with it. Anything he gets stumped on, the next comment is, "What about them damn Andamanese Islanders?" He do that in the chat. Shit, wow! Even I noticed that. What's up, brother?
I'm here. I just unfortunately tuned in, but I saw the title, and I think that
title, Reggie.
I think that people.
My fault is Black Egypt. Shake my head. I'm sick of this conversation. But y'all go ahead and talk.
No. I from the title, I think that people in this community have been fooling our people for a long time with their back migration BS and all of that. They've been fooling our people about North Africa, and Egypt is in North Africa for a long time. So the rubber is going to hit the road. Maybe this is not where we are talking about. Maybe we were talking about it, but I think that these people in this community have been fooling our people with lookership. They have been looking at the modern North Africans and trying to say that they were the ancient North Africans. We got much more information about what they look like, and I'm not just talking skin color. The ancient North Africans don't look like those people in the Levant in the Middle East. They don't.
Yeah.
They have much different features. So at some point we can discuss it, but all this back migration DNA stuff that y'all have been running, right? That don't tell you what you look like, right? Don't tell you. So what you've been doing is lookership at its finest. I'm listening.
Reggie, if I could ask you for to clarify, just not, you don't got to say by name, but just say by group, because this is a different Discord. What groups are pushing that narrative?
Gullah, and Gozi sometimes, and Gozi's actually better. Let me just say, definitely Corey don't know what anything looks like.
This is gonna go bad.
I tried to say group, but Reggie took it to me. Go ahead, brother.
Sheffrin.
Try, Brent.
Dr. What's his name? Dr. The doctor. What is that?
Dr. Banu, get him, Reggie. Damn it! Now you don't name him. Get him. Y'all gonna let Reggie cook. Go ahead.
In the rest of you Middle Eastern Arabic types, right? If you Black Arabic types, all of you have been pushing that you think the North Africans, the modern North Africans, look anything like their ancient counterparts, right? And you've been fooling the people with lookership, and you've gotten away with it a long time ago. But it goes, the rubber meets the road, and we don't have to talk about.
You're talking about the way they look, and then you saying you using lookership. That's automatically like.
No. It's in ways in which you can't even imagine, because your literacy level on this subject is just so damn low.
It's gotta be.
Now, brother Reggie, I gotta give a disclaimer. I don't know if you in here to start some shit. Yeah. But the two niggas that you picked out that's in here, it's about to be a full-blown argument.
But we're gonna let Reggie cook though. Go ahead, Reggie. Hey, Reggie, if I offended you the other day, that was not my intent. Reggie, brother Reggie, that was not my intent the other day. I was on some, everybody got their opinion. It wasn't directed toward anybody specific. That's what we try to do. Let people come in, voice their opinion. If you got a target, then
you try media. You try media. I just need to know where I'm stepping into so I can source you out. I'm not trying I'm not trying to mess with Try Media. I'm trying to mess you're a channel. You running media. I'm messing with the people who have been deceiving our people, right? With this North African, the way that they look tight, right? With playing around with their little bathrooms in their sink with DNA and mixing shit and then turning up and saying, look, this is what I found, right? But not putting it together. Okay, so which of these people in here got something to say so I can check them real quick? Which of you Mediterranean types? Not Corey, please, Corey. You gotta defer to somebody who really hooked with this back migration and Ibermerusian and all of this hocus pocus that they've been playing. So you got to take a back seat.
You call it out Ngozi then, basically. That why, you know what I mean?
I had a conversation with Ngozi. As you know, Ngozi's very smart, sometimes a little slippery, right? But you gotta give it to Ngozi, right? Amir, you gotta give it to him. But now we have the Libyan mummy, we have Nui Wat, right? We have more information from Morocco and Libya, right? Yeah, and so we have an idea that these people, that these groups, these specimens don't look nothing like modern North Africa. Nothing. So if we have these specimens, right, and we have scientists recreating the looks, right, with modern science, they don't look like Dr. Zahi Hawass, nor do they look like many of the other groups.
Peace,
brother. Hold on. Reggie gave a direct call out. If you in the chat, join the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you could either write your comment or you could join the voice chat. Hey, we taking all bets. We taking all talkers. Reggie gave out a specific who wants to talk to him about certain things, and hey, we here for it. So hit the link, join the Discord. If not Reggie, hey, keep talking. Go ahead, brother Reggie.
The way it works is that I talk, I let them know where I'm coming from, right? So I want them to come on with the same BS to the audience that they have been, right? Their super lookership. Oh, and there's and I think Ankh is in this thing too. Ankh is in them. He's many times said that the modern Egyptians look like the ancient Egyptians. I think he said that. I may not be as clear, but there's a lot of belief. There's a lot of religious belief in this shit, and we gonna figure this shit out. It may take us. I can't do it all today. It may take us a while, but that fish tank gook that they've been selling us about back migrations and all of this stuff is going down. We could deal with North Africa. We ain't got to deal with Egypt, which is in North Africa. That North Africa is a parent of ancient Egypt, right? Is a parent of ancient Egypt, and we don't need sub-Saharan Africa no more. We don't need that no more, except for the kingship, some of the culture. We don't really need that, right, to push a so-called dark, black, brown Egypt. We don't need that. We don't need that. So come on with your gumbo. Mix it up. Mix up.
Reggie got an open challenge out. Brother Reggie got an open challenge out. If you're in the chat, if you're in the Discord, join the voice or type it in the chat, type it in the comments. Reggie is here for it.
Well, Ashton is in here.
Wait, what's the question? Are we trying to talk about renderings and reconstructions? I'm not following the question, honestly.
Well, the rendering and reconstructions of faces is part of it, but not the whole story. What I am saying is that the modern Egyptians or the modern North Africans don't look shit like the ancient North Africans. Right? And what we do is we're confusing Chinese and Japanese. Right? When we're looking at ancient North Africa and we're looking at modern, what modern groups are. We're ignoring the fact that the modern groups have all of this other gene pool stuff from the Greeks, the Romans, the Punic people. I'm talking about North Africa, the Punic people, right? And certainly some of the Arab groups that came in. I admit that the Berber groups is largely those groups, but they themselves don't look like necessarily the ancient North Africans to a certain extent. Not they are way closer. I would say that they're 80% closer, but I'm just trying to say the picture that they have been painting with this super DNA and all of this stuff don't fly no more.
Can I ask a question?
Where's Ashton?
I'm here.
Okay, all right, thank you. Appreciate it.
So my question is, when you say they look 80% different or this and that, and you're saying they don't look the same, what data are you using to make that analysis?
My brother.
I was gonna ask Reggie, how did you come to that conclusion as well? But
we talked before. Distinct craniometric and dental morphologies, right? Many of the ancient North African groups of people are what you call Maghrebi types, right? So they have distinct, because they have transferred from hunter and gatherers who over the period into more pastoral, their dental morphology and their craniometrics, they change, right? They change. We're not even just dealing with skin color, right? We're talking also about skeletal forms, right? And what happens is that we're looking at modern material versus ancient material. So when we start looking at the Nui Wat, we start looking at the the Libyan mummy, right? We find that these groups of people are more archaic looking rather than the more polished look of the modern North Africans. And so what the problem is the nuances it's not even nuances so much as to say that these groups are distinct from the Levant based these groups are distinct from the Levant based groups. They come in, and it's also and it's also this SCLC 24A A111T skin lightening genome. It comes in.
I think we're going too far. So if we take one thing at a time, right? Dental data. Right now, modern Egyptians in North Africa have a North African dental pattern, which has metric and non-metric affinities that somewhat overlap with the Near East. Are you saying that pre-dynastic, like Naqada Badari and dynastic Egyptians, did not have a North African dental pattern?
No, I'm not saying that they did not have they are North Africans. Obviously, they had a North African dental morphology, right?
Right. So when we were talking about changes, why did you bring up dental patterns if the dental pattern is the same?
No. The dental pattern changes from the more archaic groups to the modern groups.
Right,
those are the things that change.
But
those are the things that change.
Pre-dynastic, like Naqada and Badari.
Yes.
Right, and dynastic Egyptians, the pyramid builders, and those guys, the dental pattern is already the North African dental pattern.
It's changing.
No, it's already there.
It's changing. It's changing.
It's changing into what?
It's changing based on the foods that they eat.
No, but Badarians and dynastic Egyptians have a North African dental pattern, and modern Egyptians have a North African dental pattern, mass reduced dental pattern. So there's nothing that has changed. It's already there.
No, you're saying that there are not changes. From
the literature, says. I'll be back.
Okay, come back. Next. See,
everybody on mute.
Wait, what did he say?
Hey, Reggie, finish building. Or Reggie assist.
Is that these humans, yes, they're all North African, except they're all North African. But when you get into the more modern periods, the foods that they eat change, right? And so their dental morphology changes, right? Because of foods that they're eating. So if they're eating rough vegetations and things like that, you're going to expect changes over time in dental morphology, right? Because simply the food changes, the way they eat changes, right? So nature is going to make some adjustments to from eating more raw foods to more cooked foods, or a more kind of cereal based to pastoral foods based. So their jaw, their whole structure is going to change over time. Okay.
I don't think anybody got any pushback.
Right. So then
sound like it.
So then when you take you ain't gonna find a Nuiwat looking person, even though he has 20% Mesopotamian, as they say. You ain't necessarily. When are you gonna find them in the Levant, in the Middle East? Where are you gonna find them?
Okay, in the chat, if y'all have a question for Reggie and y'all can't come up on the panel, just write it in the chat, because the back and forth.
I may not see it in the chat. So my big claim is that people have been using the modern Egyptians, the modern North Africans, including the Egyptians, to say what the ancient people look like. And I think that the new data is forces them to change. So let's not look at the modern North Africans. They're modern, right? So let's look at what the evidence says about the more archaic Maghrebi types that's in North Africa that get absorbed into other populations, and because of nature changes.
Okay, someone said what 80% Neolithic Morocco DNA in New is 80% Neolithic Morocco DNA.
I'm gonna ask them respond.
Maghrebi. Yeah, that's the Maghrebi types. So we haven't talked about what the Maghrebi type look like, and the Maghrebi type is diverse, but it covers all of these groups. It covers all of the ancient groups. So the Maghrebi type and the North African, the Levant groups, they're distinct. They're distinct in look.
Can I
Yes, sir. Yes, you can. Don't need masks.
Let me explain what Reggie is trying to say. right? This is what he's trying to say. When you go back and you look at North African prehistory, specifically Egyptian ancient archaeology, over time, you can start with the earliest sample at Taram Sahil. That sample is like 60 to 70,000 years old. It's a boy, they got his skull, and that's likely the out of Africa group that, you know, died there and other people went out. And when you look at that morphology, it overlaps more with modern people who now live in sub-Saharan Africa. Of course, if you hypothesizing the sub-Saharan African origin of modern humans outside of Africa, of course, the people leaving out would somewhat look like that. Fast forward about 30,000 years ago, you have Nazlit Khater, and that dental morphology is somewhat the same, but then even it shows like some difference from sub-Saharan Africans because the teeth are large.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you shrink them, you look at the morphology of the teeth and you shrink them down, they look actually kind of like Khoisan. Fast forward a little bit, maybe 18,000, 20,000 years old, you have Wadi Kubaniya in southern Egypt. And that tooth morphology, they were classified as sub-Saharan African. You go to like Nabta Playa, they would classify that tooth morphology as mostly sub-Saharan African, but it has some little dental morphology that's somewhat North African. And it's like a sprinkling of samples here and there that either show a predominance of sub-Saharan African morphology or North African. The thing is, though, if you're at 12,000 years ago and 8,000 years ago and 10,000 years ago at Nabta Playa, because it has that morphology, that doesn't mean those people recently migrated from sub-Saharan Africa, because remember, you have a 70,000-year-old sample and you got a 35,000-year-old sample and you got a 25-year-old sample, so it could be continuity. Once you get to the Neolithic, there is a break. You have samples in Sudan 13 or 14,000 years ago, and they have a more North African pattern. You have Badari Nakata, they have a more North African pattern. Basically, all dynastic Egyptians, they have a more North African pattern. And then, of course, the people today, they have a North African pattern. So when you talk about the change, you're talking about a change that happened before the dynastic era existed. So when you're saying the people look different, and you're talking about ancient Egyptians, and then you talk about dental morphology, not dynastic Egyptians, it's the same. It's a North African pattern for North African people. And that's somewhat what you would expect if a people were there for tens of thousands of years and it was a gradual change.
Oh, see,
So I think instead of just talking it,
I don't disagree. Wait, hold up. See, now we have this is about the second time that we're talking, and I actually think that of a lot of people that I've heard, I think that we've never how can I say, I think that where we have is nuances. I'm not talking about you. We've never argued, debated, nothing. Right? We've just been talking. So I have to take into account what you're saying. I'm talking about the other ones and never talked about any of this stuff and made it look like, right? Now, if you want to be Captain Saber a pseudo, right? That's fine. But my good brother, they have never talked about any of the things that you're just talking about. All they do is talk about DNA and haplogroups and stuff like that. So
yeah, because fossils are not sexy.
Right.
And pottery is not sexy. And lithics are not sexy.
Me and you, I'm excited about your talk, right? I'm really excited about your talk because you have all the right terms, and what we're talking about is lookership, right? And the lookership that they painted, they didn't talk about any of this stuff, right? And so DNA for them got brains, it got teeth, it got skeletons, it got all of that. And I'm just trying to say is, yeah, it's a factor, but what are the physical traits that these people actually have? So excuse me if I how can I say if I say that what you've said is right and you helping me make my point, right? It changes over time, but the picture that they have been painting, this is what the ancient people look like, the modern people. Do you understand my point?
Something wrong with the
Yes, I
stream?
do.
I'm
Yes,
not
I do.
hearing
But this
anything.
is
Anybody
what we
else?
have to do.
Not hearing
This is what
anything?
we have to do.
What's up to Brother
Get
Reggie?
pigtails out of here. Get pigtails out of here. Hey, pigtails.
Hold on. We got
Hey,
Stu Peas in the building. We got Stu Peas in the building.
Bro, say your piece, Stu Peas.
Yeah, it's everybody getting to say it. Go ahead, Stu Peas.
But we ain't
The
doing
server
no name
okay?
calling. That shit weird. Niggas grown. We gonna drop y'all to the fade room. Y'all start that shit.
Go ahead, Stu Peas.
Yeah, what's running? Oh, Brother Reggie got cut off. Thank you, Corey, for being on your best behavior today. Haskell didn't jump on. Everybody's on their best behavior. Let's give Reggie the floor when he comes back on. Because he's saying everything contrary to what Ngozi is saying. He's saying that Ngozi is having lookership.
I didn't call Ngozi by himself. I didn't call Ngozi by himself, pigtails.
Yeah, but man up and call the people name because everybody know who you're talking. So we're not in this Discord. We're all men. We all think. So man up and say,
hey, Aston, go ahead, bro. Go ahead and say your.
Yeah, let me say this in bounds. It doesn't matter what Reggie thinks. It doesn't matter what I think or what I say. It doesn't matter what Ngozi thinks. What matters is what you can prove by looking at the peer review. So we can sit and I could have made up everything that I said. And the people that don't know what I'm talking about, they wouldn't know. So it's not about what anyone says. How the discussion should be happening, right, is this source says this source says this source says this source says this. That's how you do it. And if the data says that the skeletal material from dynastic Egyptians is most similar to people living there now, then it is what it is, and the actual measurements of the skulls in question has answered the question. And it's tiring to hear people talk for hours about skeletal morphology, and they ain't included one study with one measurement from one skull. Like, what's the point? If you want to know how they looked, measure it up. And you don't even have to measure it up because dozens and dozens of studies have already done it. And I guarantee you it will show that ancient skeletons in Egypt right now in those museums are most similar to ancient modern people in Egypt right now. I know because I did the work and I wrote a long rebuttal to Chief X that got like 70 sources. Like, it's a wrap.
Reggie gave us names. I don't need names, but is there a particular group that you're talking about, Aston B, whether they on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook?
I want to make sure because I respect what he said. Your name is Ashton?
My name is Aston.
Aston. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So much of the data says I mean, this is so they're homogenous when you compare it to everybody else, right? So if you compare it to all these other groups, like, okay, all these 9 Nile Valley people are kind of similar. But when you zoom in, you'll see some differences over time. And what you'll see is a northern type and a southern type, and a northern looking type sort of flatten it out and taking over everything, even the southern types. And some of them are still kind of sprinkled in. And then that just merged into the people that you have there now. If you go to Egypt, if you go there today, you will see people that look just like Akhenaten and look just like the people on the walls. But a lot of times, since some of you haven't been there, we don't have the frame of reference to know what we're looking at. There's a specific scientific term for it. I don't know it, but it's like looking at Olmecs and be like, oh, those people look like Africans because you've never been to that part of Mexico and see what the natives look like. So your only point of reference is Africans. And in America, all Africans look like West Africans because the relationship that America has to Africa is through slavery. So if you look African, they talk about a West African. They ain't talking about a North African. They ain't talking about an East African. They ain't talking about a South African because the only frame of reference we have is this. Of course, that's kind of switching up, but the data is what it is. you go there and you'll see it. I don't know anybody who hasn't gone to Egypt and be like, you know what, I walked around, I was in southern Egypt. Yeah, okay. Those are the people. You can't do it. And you'll see people darker than you. I was there 20 years ago. I saw people darker than me, wider noses than me, nappier hair than me. But they weren't me, and I'm not related to them.
I agree. I've been there, seen the same thing. I went there in '87.
So how can you say then, when I was there, I looked around, I'm like, man, these people blacker than me. I remember, I will never forget thinking that. And so how can I say that the modern people look different from the ancient people, but when I'm there, I'm saying those are black people?
Oh,
in fact, they're blacker than me. You see the contradictory and even arguing the people are different?
No, I don't see it, because I'm talking about what we call Egypt, ancient Egypt, right? I'm talking about them. I can look at the modern people, but looking at a modern people, I'm not going there and telling them to open up the damn mouth, right? I can just do as humans do, take a snapshot and say, make oversimplifications, right? I've been there in the period where it was extreme. I went there with 1,000 African Americans. I took 120 of them, right? Okay, so that's in '87, and that's the mind frame that I was in '87, that I can make big oversimplifications. But I wasn't looking at their tooth size. I wasn't looking at their skull size. All I had was pictures on walls to try to make some comparisons. With me and you, we're not talking about that, right?
Oh, okay. So
we're not talking about that.
Okay. So here's the question. The latest sample that just was released, they did cranial analysis. Did you see which cranial sample that was closest to?
This is what specimen?
The Nuriat sample.
Okay, and it's closest to?
Did you read it from the document?
It's closest to? I'm asking you. You're making a point. I mean, I can certainly look it up. It's closest to
a sample in the Levant and late dynastic Egyptians.
Okay. Okay. And it wasn't so that sample, what about the ancient groups, the Maghrebi groups? What about them?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it was probably close to them, but you can read that in the document. But it says the specific samples from West Asia, I think, Lachish, and modern Egyptians from the late dynasty, like the late Giza sample, which is like dynasty 30 or something like that. So already, if you go back 4,000 years, physically, you have someone that looks like they could be from the Near East.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Okay, so these changes over time are sometimes, or most of the time, gradual, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gradual, right? Now, but there are other factors besides cranial size. There is, of course, we were talking about dental morphology, right? Then we could talk about enamel thickness. We could talk about other metrics, right? So when we start doing that, right, with me and you, we're not in a lab. I don't know. You seem to be very, very bright, right? But you would know as that anthropologists was begin to make distinctions, correct?
Yes.
So you can get to a point where there are so much distinctions that they can say, well, this is a different group versus this is group, because of all of the different factors. You kind of
maybe. I mean, think about this. My name is Aston. I'm a Black American. I go back 15 generations or whatever. I didn't spit in the tube. My DNA is 87, 88% sub-Saharan African. Right now, you can dig up, and they've done this, our enslaved ancestors from the Carolinas and slave graveyards, etc., they're 100% African or 96% or a little mix or whatever. I don't look like them. I don't physically look like them, right? But those are our ancestors. The slaves that they built Harvard, they found their descendants today. I'm very sure their descendants today look very different from the people that built Harvard. But guess what? They found them and they're related to them. So it depends on where you're going and saying the population looks different.
I'm not arguing that people are not related, because admixture helps make relations, and sometimes it's just part of the soup of ancient African DNA. It's always there, so it's just going to come out depending on the mixture. What I am just simply saying is that not you, Aston, not you, just met you. I'm saying that these other groups, if you listen to their language, you might kind of sort of agree with them, right? But most of our conversation has been based on one, skin, right? Now we find that these people in North Africa were darker, browner, right?
Some of them.
But there were olive groups. But the olive groups are not the same as the Levant groups, right? So we're finding other clines that we can talk about than what we were talking about for the last 10 years. Now,
no, I mean, I think Keita said it best. And what he said about skin color, he said the skin color diversity that you see today is likely the type of diversity that would exist in the past. So you had dark-skinned people and a range of light-skinned people. And right now we have enough DNA from North Africa to know some people were dark and some people were light. I want to say there's a couple specimens that are 5,000 and 7,000 years old, and they already have the light-skinned genes that are found in the people today. So this is way before, somebody even wrote on a stele in Egypt. So already then there's that. Now, maybe the distribution can be different. It was more light-skinned or dark-skinned people in the past than it is today, but the diversity was there. And a lot of things that we're seeing is the diversity being present. And I guess, like, where are we going with the conversation? Like, once everybody can agree that the people just didn't disappear, just like Black Americans won't disappear even if it's 40-30. We may be really, really mixed, but we're still, well, me, I don't know exactly who I'm speaking to, but some of us are still the slaves that built America, right? We're related to those people. So for me, that's where I leave it. And if you think that the difference is 80%, all we got to do is find a source that can quantify it at 80%, and then you're right. And we'll just go with that.
Okay. Well, I think science is still looking at the data, right? And and we're finding more specimens that it gives us more information, and hopefully we'll find more finds. I'm saying that these hardliners that go up and say the ancient Egyptians and the modern Egyptians, they look like the ancient Egyptians, even and so when they do that, I think that they are missing a lot of data in making their assumptions. And
you know what though, Reggie? You know why they can say that? Because nobody is going to get on the internet and research a source that proves otherwise. Nobody is going to do it. Nobody is going to do the work. That's how Chief X could own the community for 4 years. Like, oh, there was never a Black person in this specific region. There was never a Negroid skeleton ever here. And nobody would go out and get a skeleton and say, oh, what about this one?
We are, listen, when these new studies came out, well, starting with the Schuneman study, we took a look at it. And we looked at Dr. Soy Keita's and Dr. Gordine's pushback, right? Then we get in July, all of a sudden we get a flurry of studies, and there was another study in 2017 that we don't really talk about, that happened in 2017, and we could talk about that. But so we have been learning, but in the midst of it, maybe prior to this, we had made some assumptions. Yes, a lot of people were using sub-Saharan Africa, right? Was completely ignoring or maybe scared of North Africa because we didn't have the data. So they made a Black Egypt based solely on sub-Saharan Africa, leaving out the Western Desert groups, which are the North Africans that are actually migrating, that come into the Bedouin groups and come into the Nubian groups. Those groups coming in from Nabta Playa and other places, and many of these groups have been themselves isolated for a long time, and so we didn't have enough data to make those assumptions. But there have been groups of people who say, without any data, that the modern Egyptians there and the modern North Africans, but particularly the modern Egyptians, look like the ancient Egyptians, right?
I'm pretty sure some of them do.
And the problem is and there's different periods of so-called ancient Egypt. There is the pre-dynastic to the Old Kingdom, and then there is definitely some changes in the Middle Kingdom, more changes in the how can I say, in the New Kingdom, even more changes, right, in the late period, right? Those groups of people, how can I say, they have a lot of fusion or admixture with a lot of groups, right? And they themselves start not looking like the pre-dynastic groups. But I don't think I'm here to fight you. You have some nuances and you definitely have some data. And if I say something like 2 sides, go and find a source. You know exactly where that is. You're going to give me the technical terms. They're not. They're going to give me DNA. If I talk about enamel thickness, they're not going to give me that. You might do some comparison, right? You might do some crown and cusp patterns, right? You are going to do that. We haven't heard any of these terms. We haven't heard any of these terms. Now, you've been doing the work that, and I don't know where you was. You could have helped with a lot of these conversations or not. If you took the side, you couldn't take Chief X sides because you just said that you wasn't, that you came in, you beat him up with 80 sources. So you wasn't taking his side. So your best work probably haven't been shown. Your best work haven't been shown.
I don't do sides. I do, truth. And yeah.
1 second. There's people in the chat who may do sides. If you're in the chat on Facebook, and you have a question for anybody on the panel, to make it easier for us to present that question, even if it's not shared on the screen, put a hashtag, the person's name, ask your question. If it's for Reggie, Aston B, anybody else on the panel. This way we can pull out the questions to ask these brothers. Everybody may not have access to come on the panel or even join the Discord. So hashtag, the person's name, and your question. If you can't join the Discord or you don't know how, share it with somebody who may. If you click the link to join the Discord, it pretty much walks you through the instructions. So let's keep that in mind too. So if you got a question for the brothers, anybody name or sisters on the panel, hashtag their name and your question, and we'll try to present that to them. Thank you. Go ahead, Aston.
I was going to say, I like consistency. So if a person wants to use certain terms, I'm going to hold them to those terms. And I think a lot of what we see is inconsistency in the pro-black or they wasn't black. Like we're talking an hour ago, they were talking about Morocco. And someone said in Southern Morocco right now, they're black people. But Egyptians can't be black people.
I said it.
So we have to be consistent. If you go to southern Morocco and you see people that look quote unquote black, and they're okay to be black people, then why can't modern Egyptians in Egypt that look the same way also be black people? And if you go back through time and people that look like that, why can't those be black people? It's either they're going to be black people or we need to stop using the word black. And I voted to stop using the word black because it is a social descriptor that does not describe a phenotype. It is a social descriptor to describe certain things. And it can even be describe someone that looks totally white. In our history, black people pass for white. So that alone, and some of us in here know what that means, that alone tells you black is not phenotype. You know, Obama can or cannot be black depending on the context.
What if we're not always talking about in ancient Egypt phenotypes? What if we're talking about their the language that they use? What happens then? What happens when? See, the difference is with me is that I don't think that they were specifically, there were different levels. They weren't specific. When they called themselves black people, they called themselves sacred black people apart from other groups of people, right? And that was because of their religious views with the Apis and the Menwur bull, right? That they identified with them. So so other groups of people who are not venerating black or even mentioning it black, right? I can't say I can do the yeah, they're black people, right? But I could do that, but I would rather not. I would look to see if they identify in their culture with blackness. And that's what when people say black people, I first try to say, are they identifying with uh this concept in their religious views, in their social views, and do I see any evidence of that? Otherwise, I'll just say, well, people are calling them black, but they're not venerating black. So that's my work. So the Nubian groups of people would say, yes, they're black. I would look to see, well, what are they venerating that's black? Black pots, black cattle, right? Black hair. I would look to see that. And then from that cultural, social thing, I'll say, okay, they identify with blackness. Otherwise, they're just Africans. Just the other. So, so we in America, we call people black Americans are black based on skin color, and for some of those groups of people that identify with blacks, with identify with being black, but we have African Americans or people living in America who don't identify with either Africa or black. So I can't call them black. I can't label them when they say that they're not culturally, right? I could say that they may be wrong from where they think their origins are, right? And we can argue that. But if they don't have any, like the Moors, they don't identify with black. I had a big debate with them. They don't identify with black, right? I can't call them black, right? Even though there's concepts of black Moors, but they don't call themselves black. So I can just say that, okay, so now let's just talk about your ancestry. Do you come from Morocco, or you just identify with Morocco? Do you come from Africa? Do you come from parts of Africa that are not associated with Morocco? Right? Okay, so you converted into organization. I got you. Peace. I got you. Right? But that doesn't solve the scientific question. That solves something that you identify with a place when you're really from another place. So that's my
blackness is not a scientific question, though. You can't answer black with science unless you talk about social science.
No, I did. So let me clear it up. I said that it's cultural, social and for the ancients it was religious, right? In science, I just need to know, can you tell me where you really came from?
I swear I love that comment you just made, Aston. I don't know if that other people ain't really catch that, but you can't say black unless you're talking about social, not in science. Yeah. That's a man. Hold
I
on,
don't disagree.
On that note, I gotta step out. Y'all enjoy.
Nah, no problem.
I don't disagree, and I think I said that. I think I said that earlier.
No, yeah, not to you. I've heard it used a lot of times as a scientific term, and I never heard nobody put it that way. But the people that you was talking about are in here, Gullah. I don't know if you can come off mute. And Corey, I don't know if you can come off mute because he named Gullah, so Gullah can respond.
Hey, if they can't, I have something from the chat. It's from Anathema. It's for the whole panel, and in this way,
Anathema.
Anathema.
15 times. Anathema.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah. Before you ask that question, just hold on.
Go ahead. So you got it. Go ahead.
Reggie, Gullah is back. Repeat.
I don't even know what this nigga was saying.
I know.
I just got back.
Gullah, I'm trying to get him to say it. Gullah, I got you, G. Go ahead and say what you're saying, Reggie, because we was waiting on y'all. That's why I asked him having the conversation. But go ahead, he right there, Reggie. And I ain't trying to start no shit, but speak truth to power.
He just called me a nigga. So I don't want to talk about
Reggie. Hey, I ain't worried about it, Reggie. Don't you? Yes, go ahead. You got it.
No, that's fine. I want to talk about y'all. I want to talk about you want to be a nigga, which you could say ignorant, right? I want to know first, since you called me that for no reason whatsoever, because I didn't say nothing negative about you directly.
I ain't say nothing negative either. I'm talking like a dude from
at
the
barbershop. I don't think he meant
nigga
as a derogatory term.
What you talking about?
He just says nigga, bro. Yeah, I don't think
he just doubled it down. He just doubled it down. So now
ain't nobody doubled down, bro. You just sensitive or some shit, bro. Stop acting like you got on panties or something, bro. You tripping, bro.
Oh, well, that one I don't know about. But the nigga, he didn't mean it derogatory. I know you might have picked
watch his language. Calls me a nigga. Then he uses a curse word to hurt your channel, right? Then he starts talking about panties. Right?
When I use a curse word,
all right, let's get to the question. Let's get to the question.
Ask the question, Reggie. Or
let's get to the question.
He's trying to start
stuff. Yo, we got a whole room for that. Hey, hold on. We got a room for that in the Discord. We got a nice room for that in the Discord.
He acting like a Karen or something, man.
Okay, but the audience want to hear the question. Go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead, brother.
So for years, Gullah, whatever your, I don't know your real name, but my name is Reggie, right? Reginald, right? For years, you have been using DNA, right? Haplogroups and some other kind of metrics, but that doesn't tell what the North African groups of people looked like. Right? It just was.
I don't just use that, first of all, because you don't even look at my channel or even study me. You just talking about what I do for years. You don't know what the hell you talk about, all my premise. I don't ever just use that. I use anthropology as a whole, archaeology, genetics, history, all of it. I don't just use no damn haplogroup, first of all.
Okay. So no, I listened to you and I listened to you and you seem to go back that way. But anyway, you've been
No, I was just talking about that particular subject matter at that time, at that point in time. I was just using it as a reference point. I wasn't using it as a totality thing. You just heard that at that point of time where we were talking about that particular subject. I don't know if it's something wrong with you. It ticks you off or some shit when you hear it or something. But we were talking about a whole bunch of other stuff too.
No, there's nothing wrong with me. And I've been in this community a little longer than you, but
I'm not in no community, bro. I'm just a dude on the internet talking about science and history. I'm not in no weird community or no cult, whatever you got, y'all circles you got going on. I'm just a dude on here talking about science. I don't know what community you talking about. I live in a neighborhood, bro, with real people. I don't live on no internet, Sesame Street, whatever y'all got going on with the circle.
Well, so this Trimedia is not Sesame Street. They're just trying to deal with the.
I'm not talking about Trimedia. Trimedia is his own thing. I ain't talking about Trimedia. You represent to some type of whatever conscious kumbaya community, some shit I ain't part of. I ain't with that word. I ain't part of that word.
Yeah, you on the Dr. Ben community, Reggie.
Hold on. We was dealing with a question. Hold on. We was dealing with a question. I think Reggie named Gullah. So I'm still, and I'm sure the audience is interested in hearing Reggie's question to Gullah. Peace to Carnivorous Podcast. We on the, we simulcasting right now. Peace to Trimedia. So Reggie, if you had a question or a statement about Gullah, go. He's here now, and he can respond. And then we're gonna get to the question in the chat. Go ahead.
Okay, so great. So what I came on to show is that we've been involved in lookership when it comes to North Africa. Many people, not specifically directly at all times, as Gullah said that the modern Egyptians look like the ancient Egyptians, right? But what I'm trying to do is saying that, well, what does the ancient North Africans look like, right? And they don't look like the modern Egyptians. They don't. And
I mean, some of them do. All modern Egyptians don't look like people in the Delta. People in Luxor don't look like the people in the Delta. The people in Luxor look like people from Ethiopia or Somalia. All that they had, all them looks was there, bro. It was the diversity. It was particular diversities. I don't know what the hell you talking about. And even how ancient are you going? Are you going to the Tyrian period, Iberian Maruja period with ancient North Africans? Are you talking about the period when the Nomadic component flanked into those Iberian Maruja components coming from the Red Sea Hills? It's different. It's different histories. It ain't just one time. It's different people. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at the people, even when you look at the people of Luxor, you know what I'm saying? They look like ancient Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? They don't look like the same Mediterranean Delta people, even though them same people have that same mix in them, that they have a little bit more back migrated Eurasian, you know what I'm saying, components among them. But the people like that look like the Beja, or people look like, you know what I'm saying, that's in Luxor, that have that, you know what I'm saying, that's somewhat, typical, you know what I'm saying, Northeast African, you know what I'm saying, look coming from the Beja region on to the Amadic component. That looks is still among modern Egyptians. So I don't even know. You sound like you trying to say all modern Egyptians look all the same, or all of them look like the people of the Delta. You doing that? I ain't even say that.
Okay. So what changes? What changes from the ancient populations of North Africa to the modern populations of North Africa? What changed?
I mean, not a lot changed, man. I mean, people been looking like this since the, you know what I'm saying, back migrating in and out, having different admixtures, looking like a somewhat more ancient version of how Latin America would look with the different melting pots. Been looking like this since the Neolithic period, bro.
Show us for that.
There's a whole lot of fucking sources for that. Get out of here, bro. Don't use no damn pseudo circus tricks on me, bro. You know, that shit don't work on me, bro.
That's a simple question. Source for that?
It's an overwhelming amount of sources for that. Look up the fucking genetic history of Egypt. Look up the peopling of Egypt on Wikipedia.
I'm asking you.
Yes, I got a lot of sources on it. I'm on my fucking phone right now, though, so I'm not in access to no damn, so I'm just talking right now. We having a barbershop conversation.
You are.
I am.
You are. I'm
yeah.
I'm saying that there is changes.
Yeah, because I'm not in the circus ring with you.
You are definitely in a circus.
You in the circus.
Anathema. Hold on. We got a question.
I live in the real world.
Hold on, since we got two brothers on. Hold on, we got two brothers on the panel.
Everybody else.
Reggie, hold on 1 second. Reggie, brother Reggie, hold on 1 second. Anathema, if I'm saying your name wrong, Brass will correct me, or you can correct me. He has a question for the panel. Again, if you have a question, please use a hashtag in whatever person on the panel name that you have a question for, so we can find it in the chat. The question is, why does it matter? And he follows up, he or she, Anathema, follows up with whatever color they were, they lost to the Greeks, Alexander, and they did not use the modern terms for complexion. So the main part of his statement is, why does it matter? Their complexion or color. Okay, and since y'all are speaking, it's on y'all. Go ahead, Rich.
What I tried to do is not talk about color. Right. So I wasn't talking about color.
I want to answer that question.
So
go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah. So if you listen to the very beginning of what I said, we could say we know more about North Africa since 2017, 2019, and we have ever learned about North Africa because of the material that's coming out. I said that I would probably not want to do it with color because there's diversity in color. There was olive groups of people in North Africa, right? And then there were very, very dark to Black populations in North Africa for different reasons. The Levant populations, when they started coming in, they carried this SLC 24A A111T skin allele that was not in the region, and that because of that they came, there would definitely be, in the way that they came, there would be some changes. The African in North Africa did have olive skin. That olive skin was different. The olive skin was different than what the groups of people in the Levant had when they were coming in. So like I said, I didn't want to argue skin. I wanted to argue there are other things that tell what a person looks like rather than just skin color. The ancient North Africans were much more archaic based on what they look like in their skeletal form, their dental morphology, their jaws, right? They were much more different than the groups, and so different enough that you could separate them. So the ancient North African groups, you might there's a term called the Maghrebi, and they had a Maghrebi morphology. And that is different than the North Africa.
Can I add on? How y'all doing? This brother Ngozi. How y'all doing?
What up, Ngozi? Go ahead, bro.
I wanted to say I don't want to cut Reggie's wisdom, but I also talk about craniometrics in dental. I like to use Professor Irish, who talks about the dental, but the traits of the dental. It's just not the morphology. We can go to Fred Woodruff and other people as sources if you want it. The North Africans have had a consistent phenotype for a very long time. And in the coast, they always had that semi-Mediterranean look, especially in the 7,000 year mark. In Upper Egypt, you're going to find people that look like people close to North Sudan, and it still look like that to this day. If you look up Professor Irish on the dental analysis, he talks about the molar, the shape of the teeth, and the crown of the teeth, and how a lot of the people, sometimes it falls in line with people in the Levant. And it's different than sub-Saharan African teeth who have bigger teeth and larger molars when you look at it. So either way, the people in that area look like they've been looking for thousands of years, and there's sources and references on that if people want to know. So people in the north will look similar to people in the Mediterranean. People in the south, Upper Egypt, just like in southern Morocco, as we spoke of earlier, they started to have that intermediate bridge between, what people are classified as Black. They're how that look. That's just what it is. But they all still share a large genetic affinity that's been consistent for thousands of years, that's distinct from the populations that we descend from. That's just a reality.
Okay, so that's
okay.
great.
We got Gozy back on the panel again in the chat. You got a question for the people on the panel? Put a hashtag in their name and your question. Go ahead. Who is next? My bad.
I would just want to respond. Okay, so now, I need. Okay, so Ngozi made a point that they look the same, right? So what are the differences between the Maghrebi groups of people and the Levant?
The Maghrebi people will have more, the cranium will be more large and wider than people in Levant who will have more slender features. So like, for example, Maghrebi people, even to this day, if you go to Morocco, I brought it up earlier, some of the Moroccans to this day, Algerians will make fun of them because their features are very broad, right? But you do have some Moroccans that look very, very Mediterranean, like our brother Shakar. Shakar can pass for a person that's from Italy if you look at him. Well, the image that I've seen of him before. But yet and still, I don't know his cranial metrics if I was up close to him, what he'll look like. Well, if you look at French Montana morphologically can fall in line as a Caucasoid, but if you look at the shape of his head, it's very robust and different. But it still falls in line with that outdated term that they label as Caucasoid. So when you go into the Levant, people in Levant tend to have more slender features, but they all still have affinity. So when you talk about Maghrebi or even the earlier Ethio-Somali, like I said earlier, if you read 2014 article on the Eurasian back migration that occurred in East Africa, it talks about how the Ethio-Somali morphology started with populations in the Epipaleolithic Levant. And it came in that was shared with the Maghrebi people that split in different time periods. So those features have been consistent a long time. And also Ethio-Somali is different than Ethiopic. Ethiopic falls in line with in anthropology or craniometrics.
It's Omatic. Yeah.
It's motor or Omatic. So that's different when you deal with craniometrics.
Okay, so here's the thing is, so you say it's consistent, but then you say it's different. So the Maghrebi populations, you mentioned, have relatively large post-canine teeth, right? Thickened enamel in their complex, right? In contrast, I guess, the Levantine populations show closer affinities to Eurasian dental patterns. So you say so there are the differences, but then you say that they're consistent. I don't understand.
What I mean by consistency is that what you see there now has been consistent. Regardless to a Maghrebi being Maghrebi, you still find, like, for example, Ibero-Mauritians and the Tufians, if we go back in time, people in Levant will have a lot more gracile similarity than the Tufians. And the people in Morocco, regardless of them being labeled as Caucasoid or whatever, I'm just using that term, they still have a lot of affinity shared with Ibero-Mauritians. Gaddafi, for example. Gaddafi looks more like some type of ancient Cro-Magnon type Eurasian, right? Or a robust Caucasoid in Palestine, right? It's a difference. You can see it. Even though we see light skin and say, oh, they look the same. If you look at it deeply, they don't look the same. Only a racist eye look at things from skin and say because skin look a certain way, they look the same. Just like the people in the Andaman Islands who can be darker than me. You know, they may look similar to people in sub-Saharan Africa, but if you look at them long enough, they don't look like us.
Yeah, same way a Chinese person and a Japanese person. If you look at them just from first glance, you might think they're the same. But if you really start tripping off of really studying them, you'll see the slight minute differences. You know what I'm saying? That's what he means.
That's why
we have a question from the chat real quick for Ngozi. I just want to read the question. It's from Dr. Banoob. It's for Ngozi. It says, why you made a racist Islamic claim that Copts aren't proud of their ancient Egyptian heritage. That's for Ngozi from Dr.
Banoob. Well, earlier, what I was saying was a real Coptic, which means Egyptian. Even the Arab Muslims are Coptic. Coptic only means Egyptian. Let's just be for real. They all Coptic. But the Coptic Christians kept a lot of the original traditions and language intact compared to the Arabic dialect that the Egyptians speak, because the Egyptians have their own dialect of Arabic. It's not regular Arabic. But all of them are Coptic, meaning Egyptian. What I said was that, yes, the Egyptians or the Coptics have a closer niche with their traditions as the ancient Egyptians. But here's the thing. As Christians, a Coptic will not be embracing with Seer or Osiris. That's a sin. Isa or Jesus or Yahshua is not Osiris. So that's what I mean. You guys are not fully living an ancient 3,000-year tradition custom. The Coptics is a Greco-Roman phase of Egypt that doesn't denounce you from being ancient Egyptian. Yes, you have a lot of the ancient Egyptian customs, but you also have something that diverges into the Greco-Roman period, especially when you practice Christianity. That's like the Persians who speak Farsi now. The Farsi speakers are not the actual Persians from that time period, but Farsi is the closest thing to the actual Persian. So
they got Greek. They got Greek in them.
You got some Greek influence in you. That doesn't knock you off the distance from being ancient Egyptian. That's like an African American who speaks AAVE, African American Vernacular English. And the average African American ranges from 20% European to 10% European. There is some differences in our culture and things that we develop. But yet and still, it doesn't knock us out the act of being black or what they label as Negro, because we still call nigger because we descend from sub-Saharan Africa. You know, that 20% European blood don't do shit for us. That's just a reality.
Yeah.
Okay, we got another question for Ngozi. Go ahead, Gullah. My bad. We had another question.
I was backing up. Say even speaking English is a cultural distinction, because our English is different than standard English. You know, they got grammars from our whatever, the African culture we came from.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, we got another question for Ngozi. And again, put a hashtag. Come on, we know how to use keyboards and phone keyboards. Put a hashtag. The person's name, not at. I don't need the at sign. Let's use hashtags. Come on, people. The question is, ask Ngozi why he using Blumenbach in 2025.
That's why I said in the sense of description. I didn't say that in anthropology they don't use those terms. I said in the sense of description. I'm just using it as an example. But here's the thing. People that's Eurasian, or let's say Western Eurasian, primarily from the Middle East or Europe, closer affinity in certain morphology traits than a person from the Congoid zones of sub-Saharan Africa, right? So even though Caucasoid and Negroid isn't used, let's not act like the distinction isn't there, because it's there. The typical sub-Saharan African has a specific feature that's consistent compared to a person from Europe. And people in Southern Europe, which is the Mediterranean, share a lot of close affinity with people in the Middle East. We got to think about it. The people in the Middle East, a large chunk of their DNA comes from Anatolian farmers that came from Turkey. So a large chunk of their DNA also was intact in Southern Europe. Southern Europeans, which is the people in the Mediterranean, and people in Palestine, and people all through the Middle East share a deep ancestral or a large deep ancestral chunk of their ancestral lineage from Anatolian farmers. And you can see the consistency compared to Nordic Europeans, right? Nordic Europeans have more of that steppe ancestry, or from the Russian steppes that brought the Indo-European language. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter, even though there are slight differences, right, at the demi level, or when you look at it slightly, right, very slight, they still have more closer affinity and niche than groups that's sub-Saharan Africans. When it comes to ancient Egyptians, the populations in the north share a lot of affinity with Mediterranean people and people in the Middle East than they would in Nigeria or Togo. Even people in Upper Egypt, even the people in Upper Egypt, even though they can be dark-skinned and robust and have intermediate features, they still are distinct from populations in Nigeria, Togo, and Senegal. No ancient Egyptian was walking around looking like a Dinka from South Sudan. Not even now in North Sudan, you had different groups of people drifting in Sudan. And these look like Somalis and Eritreans, as Brother Gullah Geechee said. And you have some that looks similar to Dinka. So the consistency of people in South Sudan is more common than a few outliers. And in Upper and Northern Sudan, they have a lot of affinities with people in Upper Egypt. And people in Upper Egypt share a lot of affinities at Bridge. So it's all about proxy and location. So I only use those terms as a description term. I'm not saying that literally. Even though those terms are outdated, still a distance or a separation and measurement and morphology when it comes to people groups. We can't act like it don't exist, because it does. People only complain about that shit because they're sensitive to it. In truth, niggas don't look like these people. That's just a reality.
Anybody want to add to that who may agree or disagree with Ngozi on the panel? All right.
Him and Reggie did him and Brother Reggie ever sort that out? What up, Ngozi?
Yeah, I think they had a discussion.
Okay.
Again, hold on 1 second. If we got 46 people watching in Carnival's podcast, I need 40 40 likes. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to both channels, Sharp Media, Carnivorous Podcast. Join the Discord. Even if you can't go on camera, you can still chat with us. If you have a question, hashtag person's name and the question. Go ahead,
What
Brad.
you saying, Brother Reggie?
I have a special request. Can you bring on this this dude, Shakir, who got a lot of mouth in the chat?
Shakir.
Can you bring him on?
Shakir, the link for the Discord.
To get on these shows, you got to join
Yeah,
the Discord, Brother Reggie.
you got to join Discord.
But that's a personal
And trust me, if
I challenge Shakir to join the Discord.
You got a lot of mouth. So,
and if people are not used to using Discord, when you click the link, it will walk you through a process. And if you learn something through that process, that's cool too. Hold on, we got a hashtag Ngozi. I think they love Ngozi.
Yeah, this man literally just changed his he changed Shakir. I looked.
Hold on. Listen. And Ngozi is like a rare gem. So we got Ngozi, we got hashtag Ngozi. Dr. Banoob is following the instructions. So Christianity predates Islam and is indigenous to Egypt and the Middle East since. That's not a question, but I'm sure, it's a response to something you said in Ngozi. So I'm going to read it again. Christianity predates Islam and is indigenous to Egypt and the Middle East since 56 AD.
Okay, I never said that's still the Greco-Roman period. That doesn't matter. It's the Ptolemaic. So of course, I mean, okay, a lot of the Christian forefathers was living in the Egyptian desert, writing a lot of that stuff. So that's not. So even though Islam is later, it's still from the Middle East. I mean, see, here's the thing about Coptics, or not all of them. There's a war that people don't know about between Coptic Christian Egyptians and Muslim Egyptians, and a lot of the Coptics are very pharaonic in their ideology. They're very anti-Islamic. A lot of them, not all. So they don't like Muslim Egyptians. So they try to play the game and say Muslim Egyptians are not Egyptians. They are the true Egyptians. Like Dr. Banoob lied and said Zawi Hawass is an Arab. If you guys look that up, there's no proof of that. There's no proof of that. Dr. Zawi Hawass is an Egyptian. Yes, he's Arabized in culture, but he's an Egyptian man. But this ideology, just like a racist nationalist down south, a country white Christian who has this ideology believing that, hey, this is what it is. Like original America should be just a Christian nation. That's what Coptic Egyptians is. Coptic Egyptians feel like Muslims shouldn't be there, so they're very anti-Islam. So that's why it doesn't matter if Christianity had a step base in Egypt or the Middle East. So does Islam. I'm not getting involved in Islamic and Christian war. It's all that shit from the Middle East. So it doesn't matter.
Excuse me, Ngozi. Just excuse me about Dr. Zahi Hawass. The sources says that his family descends from an Arab tribe of the Banu Sulaim, right? And then his lineage comes to Egypt from North Africa, specifically Algeria, during the French campaign. Right?
So let me ask you a question, Reggie. How many? Now I read that source before. How many years before Dr. Zawi Hawass was born before these people migrated into Egypt to say he's not Egyptian? Think about it. And not to mention, Algeria is still North Africa. That nigga don't come from Saudi Arabia. The Arabs came into Egypt in 640 AD. They crossed over and conquered all of the Maghreb in 690 AD. So by the time, a lot of these Arab tribes, like they Arabs, like the Beni Hassan or the Bangala Arabs, those niggas are not real Arabs. They're no different than a nigga who's mixed with a little French and be 80% African or 45% Afro, whatever, and say that they French or Creole. No, the problem is that they have the same ideological issues that we have in their own way. So even if Dr. Zawi Hawass' so-called family, who was born 200 years before he was even born, migrated into Egypt from Algeria, that's still North Africa. Still North Africa. He's not Arab. He's not a Saudi Arabian Arab.
Yeah,
it doesn't work like that.
That's like saying that the people with Kunta last name in West Africa are Arabs because it come from a fucking Arab dynasty. It's like saying them people are Arabs today that they got the last name Kunta. How you describing it, Reggie?
The bottom line is this. The bottom line is this, brother.
I love it. That don't make no goddamn sense.
Reggie said that don't make no goddamn sense.
Bro, Kunta come from an Arab tribe. Kunta ain't indigenous to West Africa.
The bottom line is this, brother Reggie. Let me ask you right quick, guys. I just want to say this. Against lie and are confused just like African Americans are. We're not going to just bastardize us over here in the diaspora. A lot of them are just as confused. For example, the Fulani, the Mandinka, and certain groups say that they're not from Africa. But when you look at the people with the DNA, the Fulani are African. They only have a small side of their DNA that's North African. And that North African is filtered with ancient Eurasian that back migrated thousands of years ago. But some niggas will say because the nose is pointier and the face is slender, they not African. Or if a nigga see a Somali, they'll say, oh, the Somalis isn't African. But when you look at the Somali genetics, they're not Arabs, and they have an ancient migration mixture that occurred almost 10,000 years ago. The populations that came in didn't even exist at that time. 60% of the Somali DNA is phrenologic or motor-like, meaning that the largest chunk of their DNA is African. So what I'm saying is that people in Africa lie just like a nigga that's an Aboriginal lie or a Moorish motherfucking lie. They all lie. You get what I'm saying? So Zawi Hawass is an African. He's an Egyptian man. That's just a reality, brother.
Okay, no, it's not a reality. So the fact of it's not a reality at all. The fact of the matter is, the sources say that his ancestor Mahmud Hawass was auxiliary soldier and settled into Egypt. So
okay, but brother Reggie, let me ask you a question. Reggie, let me ask you a question. Reggie, let me ask you a question.
Why you get mad at me? Why you get mad at me?
I'm not mad at you, big brother. I want to ask you a question. Listen, let me just ask you. How many years before Zawi Hawass was born for him to represent for that to be his overall DNA composition? How many years, like when did this person come in from Algeria, meaning that he wasn't a real Arab? They was an Arab clan, but they wasn't real Arab, before they settled in Egypt, before Zawi Hawass was born? That's my question to you.
Well, this ancestor came in 1798 to 1801, right?
And when was Zawi Hawass born?
When was he born?
Yes.
He was born in 47.
Okay, he was born in 1947. Now here's the thing: you got two grandparents, you got four great grandparents, you got 8 great grandparents, and they go up to 16. So what I'm saying is that this one component who was possibly Algerian, people that claim that they're Arabs, that's no different than an African American who's 15% European, meaning his great grandfather was a white man, right? So just his great grandfather, not him directly. By the time he's born, does that knock him out of the element from being an African American or black? When most African Americans got at least one great grandparent that comes from Northwestern Europe that settled in America? I'm just being honest.
Well, I know that you. I know that you are being honest, and I'm being honest too. So I'm being frank in New York, right? And honest on these boards, right? So the fact of the matter is that his family migrated from somewhere else.
Shit, them niggas from the Pata migrated from somewhere else in the 25th dynasty and migrated to Egypt. Them niggas wasn't Egyptian. Them niggas wasn't Egyptian. Them niggas was Nilo-Saharan motherfucking groups that migrated to Egypt.
I'm just
that's like saying the same thing.
But you know what though?
But you know what? I keep getting cut off.
No, Reggie, I want to add on. I'm gonna let you go.
I'm talking to you, and then your cut buddy jumps in.
Hold on, Reggie. Listen, come on,
you don't even need backing up on.
Reggie, we don't have to go there. But hey, Reggie, we all brothers. Listen, let me just say this. I want to say something about the Arabs. Even when the Arabs come in 641 AD, the Arabs actually brought back something that was ancient to North Africa at a specific time period. The Arabs brought back that deep Natufian element that a lot of people thought that when those Anatolian farmers came in,
they're different. They're distinct. But
what I'm saying is, there is slight drift, but that Arab element in older times played a role in the most earliest phases of Egypt. The earliest phases of Egypt would have been closer to people in Yemen at a deeper level because of that Natufian-like signal than they would have been to anybody. So even if Arabs did come in, right? So for example, the Coptics have a genetic signature in Egypt that really starts in a Bronze Age collapse, when you have a lot of chalcolithic layers in their DNA when you look at them on a PCA, meaning there's a lot of Iranian element or CHG element in them, right? They are ancient Egyptians at close in culture, but the Arab element brought back something that was there prior before the chalcolithic layer, early dynastic period.
Look,
so it's very amazing.
Dr. Hawass, his family is a migrant. He is not originally of the same Maghrebi types. He's just not. So his nationality is Egyptian. I'll give it to his family's been there since roughly 200 years, at least where he comes from, the paternal line, Mahmoud Hawass, right? The paternal line. But he does have sub-Saharan DNA. So somewhere down the line, he's kind of admixed with sub-Saharan groups of people, right? But we're only looking at the line of his of Hawass, because you're right. You got 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great grandparents, and 16 great grandparents, right? And 32, right? And it continues on. So he's he's not the specimen that we would put under a goddamn a DNA sequencing. He's not that.
Well, African American wouldn't be a specimen that represents the ancestors that was brought here 400 years ago on the ship.
Hold on. Hold on, because you brothers is like way down, like just in the minutia. For the layman, we have a question from Brother Mathis. It's on the screen. How and why did North Africa get separated from Africa? And I think that's a good entry point for those of us that may be new to the discussion, argument, or whatever you want to call it. How and why did North Africa get separated from Africa? Like, share, subscribe. Go ahead.
The short answer is the British and the French created what they call a Arab North Africa, which they deemed wrong, but they called it a Arab instead of saying Islamic. They said an Arab North Africa and a Black Africa for their purposes of colonization, so that they could, in fact, create a border for the super exploitation of Africa, right, based on their purposes. So we have this false line, right, and that the North Africa, or the Arab Africa, as they called it, right? They got specific resources, right, in order to grow, because it was beneficial to separate for the exploitation of Africa. So that's how we get this line during the colonial periods.
To add on to you, Brother Reggie, I'm sorry, I probably cut your wisdom, but go ahead. I wanted to add on because you're right.
No, you can. I just
So you have Africa, the actual Africans was in the Maghreb anyway, and they were Berbers during the time of Tunisia, when the Carthaginians, who were Phoenician descent, came in, and at that time you already had an indigenous group of Berbers who were probably fair skinned or light skinned at the time. They were called Africans first, right? There was those people first before the whole continent was called that. When the Greeks came in, people in south of the Sahara, they always looked at them as Ethiopians or burnt skin. That was different than the people in the north. Now I'm talking about before we have one name, before the Berlin Council and colonialism and all that. So Africa was never this one place. When the Arabs came in 641 AD, they delineated, or they knew the distinction between Misr, which is the Egyptian North Africa, and the Maghreb going west. And they also understood the people of Bilal el-Sudan. At one time, everybody in that Sahel belt was called Sudanese before everything was called one thing. So Africa it was never this one thing. This one thing, in a sense of landmass, is new. They always looked at themselves as being different from one another. So the whole thing, even this idea of Pan-Africanism, it was created by Black Americans in the diaspora, or Africans. It never existed back then. There was never one thing. It was never one thing. They always looked at themselves as different, even among sub-Saharan Africa. They didn't see each other being the same. There's records of Mandinka enslaving Fulani, Fulani enslaving Mandinka, Yoruba enslaving other groups of people. And the reason why a lot of us was over here, because they was going against one another and didn't like each other. It was never a kumbaya thing. So this ideology, or this idea of one Africa, is fairly new. And the actual real Africans, or people that was called Africa first, were Berbers, or a group of Amazigh people in the Maghreb next to Tunisia. Those are the true Africans before the whole continent was called Africa. So it was never one. And it was always divided, to be honest with you. It's just the Berlin Council, when the Western Europeans kick in, they really pumped the post on that. Like, look, this is the stamp pump. We're going to take this portion. We're going to take this portion. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But Africa was always divided. That's why it was always easy for people to come in and do what they want to do, because everybody never seen each other the same. And it's going to always be like that. Always. So this is not a new argument.
We have to face the realities of the colonial constructs. We actually do, and that colonial constructs keeps Africa from being divided, and it's external. But what I was trying to get at is that the the ancient Maghreb groups of people, right, are distinct from the Levant groups of people, and that we have enough metrics to tell them apart in the ancient world, right? And so through admixture, of course, there is going to be there's going to be much more similarities, but they are distinct, and it doesn't disagree with a lot of the things that you've been saying. But generally, to just oversimplification that the modern Egyptians look like the ancient Egyptians, right, is really problematic, and we can separate that. And the North Africans, modern North Africans, are different and distinct from the ancient North Africans, right? And so we've been doing some lookership, looking at the modern Egyptians and projecting as if they were the ancient Egyptians, and that's what I entered the conversation on. So in DNA and genomes and stuff like that may tell a part of the picture, doesn't necessarily tell you what you look like. Right.
If there's anybody in the chat that is having difficulty joining the Discord, again, just stay tuned to the channels. Follow us, click the link. It will walk you through the process. Both channels help support people if they're trying to understand new technology or even different technology. So this is where this thing is moving. We appreciate the questions, all of that. Chime in. The brothers is here for your question. They not ducking, they not hiding. They here. Remember, hashtag person's name, your question.
All right. Do y'all have any conversation for each other? Because this is stale. Is there anything else? Any? The majority of everybody here is on mute. So is there anything y'all want to talk about, or can we move on?
Oh, well, I mean, so generally,
like Reggie ain't come here to teach a class. Everybody on mute, so we can close up.
I think Reggie and Gozi done put hands and feet on people. I don't know. Maybe they in the chat.
Is like teaching.
I think they're comfortable down there.
Yeah, this isn't dialogue. This is not fresh. It's not. We're not.
Nah, that's what we want. But we're also trying to help the people in the chat. That's why we like the questions. But it'd be more helpful if you join the Discord, join the actual discussion, right?
Right.
There, Brad, you got it, bro.
All right. Yeah. So where we at? Because I mean, it's not that. It's just Brother Reggie. We didn't. Like I said, I don't believe in a whole bunch of free games. So if he's teaching, then we could bring him on to teach something, not just talk for 2 hours for free. And there's no free game. So unless we about to have a conversation or we're gonna move something forward, let's either move the topic forward or let's close up.
Well, my final words on this is that my final words on this is and I seem to made a lot of North Africans and some Arabs mad in the chat. That they can't talk about the information. They can just talk about what they think my family is and stuff like that. But my last words on it is that we have been how can I say lucky to have the research of the last few years, right? Beginning with the Schuneman report and the other reports to help us understand North Africa much better. And then to understand the peoples of North Africa, the most ancient groups, the Maghrebi groups, right? And then begin to understand the Garamantes and other groups of people and give them some significance and don't oversimplify it. But we have been fooled thinking that this modern group of North Africans and Egyptians was the ancient people, and the Schuneman report helped blow that up. They're not, but have unfortunately this overlap of people for whatever reason, trying to protect that they are, and they're not. And then that's what we are getting into. And so we've had lots of different conversations on skin mapping and things like that, which is really interesting because now we know that there are alleles and that govern what humans look like. And the sun is definitely a factor in the radiation. We definitely know now that there are genomes that float into North Africa from a period about 2000 BC, maybe 3000 BC, right? And that we do know that colonial powers and their what they have done have exacerbated this situation, creating a North African Arab type group versus a Black Africa, and then we get caught up in the middle. And so with this new work that we have, like what Ashton was talking about, we can just talk about sources. So I just need to know if y'all still believe the Levantine groups of people, right, who flowed into North Africa, or those groups.
I don't know what that is.
My bad.
Corey. No, it's Corey Chef 192.
It's the.
Go ahead, bro.
I think we lost. Okay. There you go. So we lost.
And we make better distinctions based on science. And I'll just stop right there.
Yeah, I hate to do it. It's just Brother Reggie, how I feel about like too much free game. Like you did a lot of that over the past 15 or so years, or 20. I don't even know how long, to be quite honest. But if you just gonna teach and it's not like a group conversation, then there's no point. And it's sad because it's 50-something people in the chat, and it's like just y'all just teaching, and that's cool, but that's not what that's what the other people do. Yeah.
No. So what he's saying, Reggie, is we starting something up in the next week where and Gozy, is you still here?
Nah, he stepped off.
Yeah, well, we trying to start something up where y'all these type of conversations can be profitable to everybody. You dig what I'm saying? And especially y'all. So I know y'all could feel like, well, I know Ngozi feel like he don't do it for financial gain, but we gonna make sure over here, well, in our new project, to actually put something in y'all pockets where y'all could walk away from. You dig what I'm saying? Because we want more structure.
Do that, Steph, because I can't do a Baltimore accent, but it's why we gotta pay you, brother. Why we gotta pay you, brother?
Yeah,
I'm glad.
Under the nasty Cash Act, I don't agree with that model. It feels too much like church, right?
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying? But under another model, I'm all with putting a significant amount of money in your pocket. You dig what I'm saying?
I like what I do, but I do.
Well, that's what you do on your channel. I'm saying over here, on our new project, we want to do it differently, right? And I think it'll be beneficial to you. So don't fight me. You dig what I'm saying?
Don't fight us on this one.
I don't understand what you're doing.
Hopefully it starts a new wave of whatever. But I've watched these shows like Chef was saying, where it's like everybody's on the panel because they want to be seen not in here, but they on panels because they want to be seen in the video or the recording. They're not adding nothing. These brothers been talking all day long, so I know they're exhausted. But we want to kind of make a fresher model, and I put a couple dollars in just for your time. But once I start noticing it's more of a like you and like Ngozi teaching or you're teaching, then that's no free game. You got to pay for that. Y'all can look at 1,000 old videos and watch Brother Reggie teach. It's a new day around here, so I don't like it. So it is what it is. But these guys been talking since 10 a.m. this morning, so I can understand why these guys ain't saying nothing. But
Okay. And I came in and I caused some trouble because I just want us to I need to get to the bottom of this for us to be able to distinct and stop doing this this oversimplification that we are doing, and I started something, and I'm gonna freaking finish it. But thanks.
Okay, no problem. Hey, we love y'all in the chat. I appreciate y'all time, brothers. Y'all more than welcome to stay in the Discord chat. But I'm gonna end the live. We've been live for 3 hours and 48 minutes with 50 plus.
Hold on, before you kill a live stream.
Go ahead.
In the live stream on YouTube, I put the Discord link in, and I also put our new Twitch link in. So if y'all not subscribed to Twitch, get a Twitch account. We're going to try to move some of these conversations over to Twitch and build a channel over on Twitch so we can become more profitable, so we can give back to the speakers. So we got a couple things in motion. Join the Twitch. I'm gonna put the link in the chat before Brass end this, and join the Discord. Everybody who like these conversations, this is basically our daily radio show, right? These are the conversations that we always having. And we stay on here all day chopping it up different. So it's just like radio. So if you want to participate, join, because we're not going to go live all the time, but we always having these conversations almost every day, right? So the way to keep participating in this on the days that we don't go live, you have to join the Discord. All right, go ahead, take it away, bro.
And now, hold on. And if y'all don't know or understand, or these things are new to you, different social media platforms or technology, hit us up. We can help you with that too. It's what we do. It's a well-rounded group. You know, this thing is moving forward. Money talks, bullshit run the marathon.
Exactly.
So holla.
All fucking day. Hey, peace to the chat. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna put up some recordings probably tomorrow. Maybe I might even run one tonight, but check out that audio from this morning. And by the way, if somebody compared the Bible to Charlotte's Web, you don't even need to listen to them, bro. Shouts to whoever did that.
That was crazy.
I'm gonna put up